take over tonight, and then we'll start to see a couple of sprinkles or showers deeper into the night. But right now, the Phillies game will be dry, a little bit cool. Bring a sweatshirt. Low temperatures tonight in the 50s to around 60. I'm meteorologist Adam Joseph with your 6ABC forecast.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's. Get 2 #1 selling bacon cheeseburgers and fast food. Wendy's JBC, plus medium fries and soft drink for just $8. Total game changer. Order today, limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Request $8 JBC meal deal to obtain discount. Claim per independent marketing research company.
Don't let data limits hold you back from being the gift master in the family group chat. Switch to Straight Talk Wireless and get real unlimited data on a reliable 5G network. Straight Talk, available at straighttalk.com or Walmart.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Number 1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. WDAS and WD273D Philadelphia is Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler.
Snap back, pressure, pick it up by Tooney, rolling left. Williams got Greengrass, 10-5, dive for the end zone. Throw him up, will you, baby? Touchdown! Touchdown Bears! 8-yard touchdown scramble.
Oh, it felt like I was watching UNC versus TCU last night. That opening drive was a thing of beauty. That second half was a much different story for the Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson, welcome to the party. Welcome to the show as the head coach of an NFL franchise. And a good afternoon and welcome to this show, Daily Ticket, with you live. Sean Barnard's going to be with us live in studio on Tuesdays moving forward. Yes, football season is here. Basketball season is right around the corner. Sean Barnard, live and in the flesh every Tuesday. Can't wait. How we doing?
Yeah, doing well. It is officially football season. The sports calendar back in full swing and some pretty incredible football games this weekend, both at the collegiate and NFL level. So excited to get into it all. I think we've had back-to-back just almost classic primetime games between what we saw last night with J.J. McCarthy just flipping the script for everything that he looked like in the first half. And, of course, a game that will have the case for the best game of the entire NFL season in that Sunday night matchup. So excited to dive into it.
I actually am I'm looking at our text chat right now. When did Luke Arcani text that J.J. McCarthy? No, that was Roy. I apologize, Luke. My fault. That was Roy.
I was in the same camp as Roy here, so I'll back him up a little bit.
Roy, at 9:57 p.m., J.J. McCarthy might be buns.
I believe my text following was he's never actually been a good quarterback. So, yeah.
Well, he definitely turned it on in a big way. I got some numbers there we'll get into, but final score 27-24, hand in the air. I had the Chicago Bears, so I had a loser last night. That's back-to-back primetime losers for me. That's not how you want to start a season. We came out hot on Thursday, had the Birds getting it done, was able to cash a ticket or two in that game. Friday, was able to cash a ticket or two as far as the Chargers are concerned, but have lost 2 primetime straight games in the NFL. And, oh, by the way, 2 games that I thought were going to finish in my favor. I was up one eye open watching the Ravens and the Bills, could not turn that off, but come on, up 15 points. All I needed was the money line from the Ravens. Unfortunately, that went the other way, Josh Allen. And then, of course, last night, I felt really good with the Chicago Bears up by double digits. 17-6, I want to say, was the score at that point in time. And then all of a sudden, 21 scored in the fourth quarter, and that was all she wrote. The Minnesota Vikings go into Chicago and come away with that victory. I think they went off as a point favorite. 43.5 was your total in that one. It was looking like the under would have been in play for a little while. And as I said, with the 28 total points being scored in that fourth quarter, if you were on the under, you were DOA. Let's go ahead and do this, though, Sean, because here's the deal. We will talk about the NFL Week 1, putting a bow on it. Of course, we got a lot to do today to look at NFL Week 2 in our Tuesday's Tells segment coming up at 4 o'clock, excuse me. Larry Henry Jr. is going to join the party at 4:30. U.S. men's national team conversation. We are terrible. We are atrocious. We are hosting the World Cup next year, and if that wasn't the case, I don't know if we're getting into the World Cup.
I mean, definitely not.
What a disappointing run it has been for the boys in the red, white, and blue. So we'll talk a little about the U.S. men's national team with Larry Henry Jr. 5 o'clock hour, all things college football. But here in Philadelphia, we got ourselves a pretty good baseball team with the Phillies here. And last night, another victory, a much-needed victory over the Mets, putting that to the side, but another victory. And now the magic number to clinch a playoff spot is down to 7. Division 11, I want to say. So a lot to play for. I think they're down to 18 total games left in the schedule. But it's one of those deals where I have to ask you this question, and then we'll get into the opening drive here where we're talking some NFL. As far as the Phillies are concerned, that win. Now, when they went up to Citi Field and got swept, everybody lost their minds. This is a team you don't want to face in the playoffs. They're not going to beat them. And it wasn't just Pacone. It was everybody saying that. Do you change your tune now after they won a game last night? Does it make you feel a little bit better here?
I do think last night was important from a mental standpoint, that I don't think the Mets individually are that great of a baseball team overall. They're solid. They're competitive. They're in the mix, no doubt. But I don't think that is a team to be fearful of. For whatever reason, it has felt like there is this bit of the Mets being in the Phillies' head between them eliminating last year's postseason, how lifeless they look beyond just getting swept up at Citi Field. Just like the feeling of being non-competitive from start to finish in each of those matchups, to me, was concerning. So I do think there's something about like getting over the mental rift that did take place last night. And obviously, we still got a series to finish up, 2 more or 3 more against them, as it is a 4-game series here. So still would like them to take care of business. I think more so than the actual impact in these standings or just directly picking up a win, the fact that you're beating a team that you've had trouble with, I do think matters to this Phillies team. So it doesn't change how I view the season, but I do think a good one to have in your back pocket.
I'll tell you what, the Mets have some ridiculous pitching that they were able to call up. And that dude last night, again, that's the second time that he has faced the Phillies, and he's been just dominant in both of those appearances. Last night only gave up the 1 earned run. He gave up 7 hits, a little worse than the previous outing. Nolan McLean is just incredible for the Mets, and they have 2 other rookie starters, I want to say, that are in the rotation right now. So that's a big reason why they're having the success that they are down the stretch. With that, they still are on possibility of, screwing this whole thing up and not even making the playoffs because they're in that last wild card spot. And as long as the Phillies continue to beat them, there are a number of teams behind them. I think 3 teams that are within 4 games that can catch them. So something that the Phillies need to keep in mind. So there is a chance that the Mets don't even make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, and they can help themselves directly with this specific series there. And the other part that I'll note that, yes, is important, a 7-game magic number to clinch playoffs, an 11-game to clinch the division. Really what the focus should be on from a Phillies perspective is getting at least the 2 seed and securing that bye.
Oh, yeah.
I think especially based on the context of what happened with Zach Wheeler, the additional time that could be impactful with Trey Turner. It is essential for this team to get a bye week or a bye for the first round. And I think when you factor in that you can basically survive with 3 starting pitchers, if that is the path you take, that's a huge advantage that the Phillies are going to want to lock down. So while those numbers are important, we should have higher goals and set our sights a bit higher than that on making sure that they do secure the bye.
Mets currently in that 3rd and final wild card spot. As Sean Barnard just pointed out, 3 games remaining against the Phillies at Citizens Bank Park. You got the Cardinals that are 4.5, the Diamondbacks that are 4.5. You got the Reds that are 4 games, and the Giants directly behind them with 3 games out of that final wild card spot. When you start to get into that conversation, we'll dig a little bit deeper later in the show when we look at the yes and no market on DraftKings Sportsbook for teams to make the postseason. I'm always intrigued. It's a way that I think we could take a flyer and get involved in some of the action to pay attention over these final 18 games. But they're in a good spot. They have a really good lineup, but it comes down to the remaining schedule, and to me, it's that easy. So we'll go ahead and break those out. I have them all in front of me. A little bit later, we will go ahead and fire up DK and take a look at some of those numbers on the yes-no market, who will make the playoffs, and whether or not the Mets will be on the outside looking in. Speaking of the remaining schedules, I think it's fun to look at it a couple weeks in advance here as far as fantasy is concerned with the NFL. But Before we do that, let's look back now that NFL Week 1 is officially done.
The Daily Ticket opening drive. No warm-ups, no stretching, just straight into the action.
Yeah, baby. Last night, the Bears and the Vikings have officially put the bow on Week 1, and it's been a long week because it started on Thursday with the Birds and the Boys. But Sean Barnard, we're going to have a little bit of a far-reaching conversation right here because there's a couple things I want to know. First and foremost, as far as NFL Week 1, what surprised you the most? The biggest surprise, whether it was good or bad, player, team, coach perspective, broadcaster, we enjoy it all. We eat, sleep, and drink the NFL. It's here. It's back in our lives. Nothing better than the NFL. So one big surprise Week 1, according to you.
My biggest Week 1 surprise of the NFL season goes to a former NFC East rival, Daniel Jones, absolutely carving it up out there in Indianapolis. Wow. That was the best football that I think he's played at the NFL level, and legitimately very good quarterback play, elevating that Colts team around him. I did not think that Daniel Jones still had that in the tank there. I was very impressed, and you saw right away why the decision was made to make him the starter and not Anthony Richardson. If that is the level of play that Daniel Jones can bring, and I do think there's a non-zero chance that he could follow the path of the Sam Darnolds, the Baker Mayfields, the Geno Smiths, the guys that did not get it right in the first situation, but have the talent and are waiting for a new opportunity. My eyes are open for that for Daniel Jones. Could not be more impressed with what he looked like in Week 1.
All right, I'm going to go on the negative side. My biggest surprise NFL Week 1 was the Detroit Lions and how pitiful they were. That was a disgrace, especially Week 1 to open up the season on the road in Lambeau and a division opponent. It goes hand in hand. The way that they were attacked and just demolished, and oh, by the way, couldn't get anything going. I get it. Ben Johnson's amazing.
And Aaron Glenn.
Okay, but I'm talking offense, right? Those names are damn good players. The St. Browns, the Williams. Gibbs could potentially be the best running back in the game. Could potentially. He's shown me flashes, especially last year. Am I saying he is? No, but he's a top 5 back. And that same group who were just dominant last year with one of the better offensive lines in the game, not the best, that belongs to the Eagles, but we know how explosive they were on offense last year, and a lot was due to the fact of how great they were on the offensive line. They bring everybody back, and all they could do is muster up 46 total yards rushing. They averaged 2.1 yards per carry, and they gave up 4 sacks. It was a drubbing. That's the best word I could come up with. It was completely one-sided. Now the score is 27-13.
Correct.
Wasn't that bad of a blowout compared, to other games. But
felt like it, though.
It did. It was completely one-sided in a game that if you had the Detroit Lions, you were waving the white flag after the first quarter.
Yeah, 100% there. And I think we've all been pretty cognizant of that the Lions are destined for some sort of step back this year, that we've felt it firsthand here in Philadelphia, of the impact of when you do turnover coordinators like that. And both these guys are excellent at their jobs. That I think Ben Johnson gets quite a bit of love, and deservingly so. This is not a slight on him. But I think Aaron Glenn does not get quite as much recognition as that he should. He did an excellent job with that Detroit defense, and I love the foundation that he started to establish in New York with the Jets right there. So the Lions are obviously scrambling, trying to get back on the right page here. I do think it's going to take a couple weeks. So I'm not panicked about Detroit overall. I still think they're going to be in the mix, going to be a playoff team, but they got a lot to clean up, and certainly a concerning Week 1 start.
All right, the Eagles not sitting on their hands. Howie Roseman making a move yesterday. Speaking of, just as far as being aggressive and trying to see what you can do to add at this point in time. And it's a player that, I understand it's in a different spot, right? Different location, different team. But when we're talking about fantasy and, players to have somewhat of an outlook on or positive outlook on, Tank Bigsby and, of course, ATN with the Jacksonville Jags in that backfield were complete stayaways for people.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, no, stay away. You don't want any part of them. But then you see Howie Roseman goes out and makes the move for Tank Bigsby, and everybody has me convinced that this is Herschel Walker coming over here. So where are we at with Tank Bigsby? What is your take on Howie Roseman making that move yesterday?
Yeah, Howie never sleeps, and I will shout out to him for that he's always tweaking, always looking to upgrade. I like Tank Bigsby. I don't think he's a game-changing talent or a guy that really, lifts the ceiling or raises the floor of this Eagles team, but I do think there is value, that There was a pretty consistent, I would say, angle of the move of this is to strengthen up the kick return and punt return games. And we know that one of my biggest takeaways from this weekend overall, kick returns are back, baby. That these are now a huge part of the action with, of course, the touchback being taken out to the 35-yard line. The teams are being much more cognizant and intentional of kicking it short to force a return. It is a battle of field position, and Tank Bigsby is going to play a role there. I'll also note Will Shipley touched the rock a whole lot more than I thought he was going to in these early parts of Thursday night's game before he went down with the injury. I've seen it reported today that he's battling some broken ribs, and I do think that is directly correlated to the move. So I think it's a good buy low spot for a talent like Tank Bigsby. I do think he's better than a guy like A.J. Dillon, who had been the other option there. It doesn't change the way I view this Eagles season, but I do commend Howie for never stopping working.
Yeah, it's one of those deals where it's like, okay, the Jags have figured out who's going to be their guy. So anybody that did draft ATN, he did have a pretty good week one. I'm not so sure that that's how it's going to play out for him moving forward, but you have to be happy, and he pulled the trigger on drafting him, and they made their decision. So Bigsby out, that clears who's going to be the RB1 down there with Jacksonville, and we'll add him to the mix with the Eagles. Eagles shipped the 5th and 6th round selection in the 2026 draft to the Jags, a 3rd round pick out of Auburn back in 2023. So the only other thing I would say from Howie's perspective, and I did see Vic Fangio speaking today, was he said that Jackson will be the cornerback 2 starting this week against the Kansas City Chiefs. And I get it. You got to play who's there. But that was
ugly.
Yeah, that didn't look good last week, and it hasn't looked good in preseason either. So,
and he wasn't even close. Like,
no.
This was not like him, not making plays that he was in the vicinity of. He was getting dusted by 10 yards on like every route, it felt like. So I'm curious. I mean, I get it is 1 week, and to their credit, like CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens are a strong wide receiver group. That is a more talented unit than what you're going to see with Kansas City, especially with the injury to Xavier Worthy there. But yeah, certainly not promising about Adoree Jackson. And by the way, this is a guy that the book has been out on to an extent. I've never really looked at Adoree Jackson throughout his career and thought, oh, that's a player that if you get him in a new situation has more untapped potential. He is what he is. And by the way, the most offensive part of that, himself grading himself a C for that game. Dude, I would love to have your teachers growing up, because that was not a C performance in my mind.
Yeah, they're very reluctant to move Cooper DeJean out of the slot corner position, and I understand that, to the nickel, but here's where I'm at with that conversation. Like, give me the best players out there. And if he's going to be your CB2 in the future, it's what calls right now, make it happen. Make it happen. He is that talented. He's the chosen one. Let's do it. You got Quinyon, you got Coop. You drafted both of those guys in the same draft. Make them your CB1, CB2. I am all right with that, especially if you're going to tell me it's either that decision or they roll in with Jackson back in the mix as the starting CB2. I just don't think that is going to be a recipe for success. Bennett played okay.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that it's going to be a quick hook, and you'll see, Bennett get in there a little bit more or quicker than he did last week. But all in all, I know that there's some people out there. It's a big conversational piece on would you move Cooper DeJean, and I get he's playing the nickel really well, but I would take him out. I would put him at the CB2 in a heartbeat.
Yeah, in the Bennett conversation, I think that's one that I have a little bit more, I guess, belief in the upside. That I think this is a situation where the guy is learning the plays, getting settled into a new organization, that like probably they're waiting to full out give him the full rope here. That I do think that there's a chance where that's the direct replacement at cornerback too. Again, I think Adoree Jackson, we know exactly who he is at this stage of the game. At least there could be something with Bennett there. But nonetheless, Vic Fangio and this whole franchise sees these guys work day in and day out. So you'd imagine that they have a pretty good feel for this. And if they're not making those type of moves, they got to have some sort of logic behind it.
Yeah, they just got to let this play out to a point, but it wouldn't shock me if we start to see that move over the next week or so. And Cooper DeJean is in there at the CB2, or Howie Roseman makes a move. One or the other is going to happen. By the way, the Eagles and Chiefs, it's been a fun number to pay attention to. The look-ahead line last week, before the NFL Week 1 started, the Chiefs, I think, were as high as 2.5-point favorites at home. The Eagles yesterday were as high as a 1.5 favorite on the road in Arrowhead coming up on Sunday. It has now dropped to 0.5 point at this point in time. The Eagles are still a slight favorite, 46.5. It's week 2 here, Sean Barnard. Where do you stand on that game if I made you make a selection right now?
For Chiefs Eagles?
Yeah.
You think I'm going with the Chiefs for that one here? I do think the Eagles I actually like the Eagles to think there's a chance that this could be like, I don't want to say blowout, but pretty comfortable victory here.
Wow.
I was concerned with what I saw from the Chiefs. Like,
Sure.
I think the same offensive line problems that were put on full display in the Super Bowl were right there in week 1 again. And guess what? This Eagles defensive line, a whole lot more, I guess, punch that they're packing than what I would consider with the Chargers. Chargers not bad on the defensive line, but the Eagles are another level there. And then when you do look at Philadelphia, I think there's a lot that they have to clean up individually, that they did not, hit the ground running from either side of the ball. And I think the Jalen Carter ejection really stirred things up right from the start of last game that they never really settled in. Who are the Chiefs going to throw the football to, man? When Xavier Worthy,
Hollywood Brown picked them up. Well, I'm trying to pick them up.
Fair, but does that strike fear into your heart?
No.
Like, even Adoree Jackson, I think, might hang a little bit in that one. So I feel good about this Eagles matchup. I think that the Chiefs have some benefit of the doubt and have earned that there.
Sure.
But I think the Eagles are the better football team straight up.
Yeah, it is interesting because you look at last year, and the Chiefs didn't lose a game all the way up to week 11 when they went on the road to Buffalo. So they won all those games, and winning cures all. But it's not to say that they weren't above criticism, right? Like, they were able to sneak a game out against the Bengals, 26-25.
They won 11 games in one-score margins.
Correct. And people were definitely very vocal about that.
Yeah.
So I think we've seen the Chiefs struggle somewhat. Again, winning is a whole different ball game. They didn't win that game, and they looked really bad on the road in Brazil. I think it comes back to the fact that they are dealing with the Rice suspension. Now the injury is whether Worthy, is he going to be able to go? It's another year older. The offensive line looked like they were dealing with some issues. They have a rookie out there at the left tackle. Could he potentially play better? Not to say you're pouring dirt on him, but I do expect this game to be tougher. I do expect week 2, Eagles on the road, Chiefs coming off of a loss, this game to be a little bit tighter than you do.
Yeah, I mean,
just a little bit.
It's not going to be a cakewalk. Like, the Chiefs will put up their battle, but I do feel good about this Eagles team, Matt. Like, seriously, what is different? What is that different about these two sides than what we saw a couple months ago on the biggest stage?
Ooh.
I don't see much from the Chiefs' perspective to change my outlook then, and we saw how that game went down. I think it's not going to be quite the same level of blowout, but I think the Eagles win this game by double digits.
Did you come away from that game against the Cowboys a little bit more positive than I do? It sounds like you did.
I would say. I mean, they didn't play great. They certainly have levels that they're going to kick to, but I felt pretty good. Like, the Jalen Hurts thing, I think, is a huge positive. What I took from that game is that the Cowboys very clearly just played zone defense the whole time, played a soft shell defense, and it was just Jalen Hurts taking whatever the defense gives him, picking up a couple yards at the time, and did what was necessary to win. I think the defense is going to be much better with Jalen Carter as the disruptor in the heart of things, and I think that is really where the game shifts on its head. That's where I see this game being won, is directly in the trenches with the Eagles defensive line dominating the Chiefs offensive line in the same way that was in the Super Bowl.
Interesting. Yeah, it's tough for me because I can't get past the Jalen Carter situation, right? Like, the fact that he wasn't in there, that
changes everything.
It clouds my judgment on the game as a whole. I feel like I'm a little bit more negative on the team, on the defensive aspect than I think some other people out there. But, like, I have to start that conversation with the simple concept that the best player, a true game wrecker, a defensive player of the year potentially, was not available.
Right.
And, like, that changes everything. So it's tough. I do think that the secondary is not as good as it was last year, obviously, at the end of the season. They have to figure out that CB2. And the Chiefs have a pretty darn good quarterback in Patrick Mahomes. And if they could turn back the hand of time with Kelsey and force it to him a little bit, it could be some trouble for them on Sunday. But I'm with you. I think the Eagles do go out there and come away with that victory.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the case there. And, like, beyond just the raw, upgrade in talent that Jalen Carter is, it changes the entire rotation on the defensive line, that you having guys like Jordan Davis, who played the most snaps of his NFL career, and by the way, played very well, like arguably his best and most complete performance at the NFL level here. But you're asking guys to step into roles that they weren't expected to. And they certainly had a game plan in place for week 1 of this is how things are going to work. Got blown out the window right before the first snap was played there. So I do think that the entire defense is going to be much different with Jalen Carter in there. He is that level of game wrecker, of game-changing talent, and I think we see that back on display this week. He better show up fired up. Not quite as fired up as he was in week 1, but he better be ready to play.
Shout out Cousin Nicky checking in. Always great to see Cousin Nicky. Says he's listening on the way home. Drive safely, drive careful, drive slow. All right, back over to NFL Week 1, putting the Eagles to the side, hit on some of the news and notes there. Just from the week that we just saw, and as I said, it was a long one Thursday all the way up into Monday night. Felt like that college football weekend that we wrapped up 2 weeks ago. Very similar, but a lot to chew on. And right at the top of the list, I think, is the Josh Allen conversation as far as quarterbacks are concerned. And he won the MVP last year, and he was incredible. And Lamar was fantastic in that game and a losing effort as well. It's funny. There's a big talking point out of this that like nobody other than Josh Allen could have done what he did in that fourth quarter in the NFL out of the quarterbacks that obviously suit up on Sundays. And we know the core four at the top: Mahomes, Burrow, Lamar, and Josh Allen.
Jalen Hurts.
I've actually heard people say that the only quarterback that could do what Josh Allen did on Sunday to come back, which was an amazing accomplishment, is Josh Allen. That's it. Not even Lamar Jackson, who was phenomenal in that game as well.
Yeah.
So, like, that's where you lose me. Number one, Lamar can do it.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have the escapability to be able to make plays and get out of the pocket, extend plays, and, oh, by the way, the throwing arm, all that. Lamar checks those boxes. I would say Mahomes. How dare you doubt Patrick Mahomes in a spot where you need him to come back from a couple scores down? Again, it was 15 points. It was incredible. It's something that we don't see often. But, it just bothers me, the revisionist history for some people out there, because you don't have to be the greatest player of all time to be able to accomplish something like that. I'll just give you an example. Michael Vick did it in the Miracle at the Meadowlands too. Like, is Michael Vick a top 10 quarterback of all time? Is Michael Vick no, but he was able to do it. So that comeback, I really do believe that a guy like Jalen Hurts could have accomplished that comeback. I do. I think Jalen Hurts could. You have to have the ability to extend plays and make plays with your legs. I don't think Joe Burrow could have done what Josh Allen did. But if you're able to run the football, and the last time I checked, Jalen Hurts is, I think Jalen Hurts could have accomplished a comeback just like Josh Allen did on Sunday night. I think the list is short. I said, give me Mahomes, give me Lamar, and give me Jalen Hurts, and I think that's the end. But that's only because you got guys that can do both, and that's running the football and, of course, attacking in the air.
Yeah, I do reject the notion that Josh Allen would be the only quarterback that can pull this off. And I do think it's interesting you use Jalen Hurts as an example here, Sean Brace, because on November 26, 2023, against the Buffalo Bills, the Eagles trailing 24-7 in the third quarter. And guess what? They come back and win that game, a game in which Jalen Hurts produced 5 total touchdowns. And so, yes, Jalen Hurts is capable and has done it. As I like to say on the show often, they play the games for a reason here. So it was an incredible performance by Josh Allen. Don't let it take away from it, but he is not the only one in that unique light there.
I agree. And it's funny when people start to get carried away. I also want to say this, is this ranking of the quarterback stuff something that we are going to do all season? Like, I thought that's like Mount Rushmore in the offseason.
All season talk, yeah.
Like, now shouldn't we be focusing on whether or not they won the game or do they have a chance at winning the division? I know it's week 1, so I guess maybe that's probably the reason for it. But
the fact that I think it was Lamar, Josh Allen, I think adds a layer to it. As these guys have plenty of MVPs in their pocket already and likely will be 2 of the top candidates again this year. So I'll give a little bit of grace to maybe because that was the matchup and it is week 1, all that side of things. But I do agree. We have a whole season of sample size of data that we're going to have to look at, digest, see what it takes, and, obviously adjust opinions and takeaways based on how these guys perform. But it did feel a little premature with that.
All right, get involved in the conversation. Love to hear your thoughts out there. We hit on a few items to open up the show here. Really, though, biggest surprise as far as it could be a team, player, just disappointed in an effort, whatever it may be. Biggest surprise, NFL Week 1, as we just finally put the bow on it. Last night, pretty good game in its own right. Big second half comeback. J.J. McCarthy, though.
Unreal.
And when I look at the numbers here, how about this? Because this popped up. Look, if you watch the game, it was a tale of 2 halves. But J.J. McCarthy in the first 9 drives, 5+ yards downfield, so passes over 5+ yards. He was 1 for 6 in the first 9 drives, 28 yards. 4 for 6 in the last 4 drives, 2 touchdowns. All of a sudden, it felt like he got better as he opened it up. And if you listen to Troy Aikman in the first half, he said the thing that's Caleb Williams going to kick himself in the butt the most about is that he had opportunities to take shots down the field. So I came away more than ever going, yeah, let these young boys cook, man. Let them open it up a little bit. Why not?
Yeah, and I've been screaming at my TV in several different games for that takeaway. The Michigan one is one that stands out with Bryce Underwood, but that's a whole other conversation here. As far as the J.J. McCarthy discourse, I'm not sure what to make of last night, to be completely honest. Like, you have to be incredibly complimentary of the poise this kid showed. And there's very clearly like some leadership qualities that he possesses and a guy that has the feel of a potential franchise quarterback. I also just can't like completely put to the side the fact that he looked like hot garbage for the whole first half of that game and barely could complete a pass there. I give him credit, and obviously it worked out. They won the game. The fact that he's like over on the sideline hyping up everyone as he's throwing a pick six and really struggling to do anything, it shows something. I'm going to keep the jury open for discussion here for what J.J. McCarthy actually is. I did not like him in college, did not like him coming into the draft. I think it was certainly a tale of two halves, but I can't just brush to the side how poor that first half was.
All right, and one more surprise from last night. Caleb Williams didn't have a rushing touchdown last year?
Yeah, that was surprising. That might be more of an indictment on the Bears than anything about Caleb Williams, which I think you can probably say about his entire rookie season.
Yeah, he rushed for 500 yards. I think it was like 498, and he didn't get in the end zone one time last year. Wow, that was surprising to me. That was like one of those games or stats that I was just like, no way is that true. And obviously it is if they're putting it on the broadcast because they cook up those stats a few days in advance. Anyways, Caleb, 21, 35, 210, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. He was sacked 2 times. He did run the ball 6 times for 58. His number was 50, I want to say. Or no. His rushing total was 26.5. He hit that in his first 2 rushes. He ends up with 58 and had a touchdown, almost ran 2 in.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, he had 27 rushing touchdowns in college. He had 11 his final year, 10 the year before.
Incredible.
Yeah, so that's got to be an area of their game, of his game, that the Bears lean on a little bit more.
Would you feel good if Caleb Williams was your starting quarterback?
I don't know. There's worse situations. I was not convinced last night in the way that I hoped and sort of expected to be. That I do think last year was a disastrous situation that is unfair to hold against him. And my biggest takeaway that I got from Caleb Williams as a rookie is there is some toughness to him. The kid got beat up week after week and continued getting up, continued competing. And I want to like Caleb Williams, but he missed a lot of throws last night that he just can't. And that game was for the taking. That you have a chance to put that one to bed, and he did not do it. So I don't feel much better about the Caleb Williams stock in a way that I expected to today.
All right. Now, Ben Johnson. How would you feel if Ben Johnson was your head coach?
I think there were some growing pains with the clock management side of things and, being a head coach for the first time. I still think overall, like, it was a solid debut. I get that you blew a huge lead and you're not going to look at it in the box score and feel great about it. It's, week 1 of being an NFL head coach. There's a lot of different responsibilities that are thrown on his plate that I don't want to say he wasn't ready for, but I think caught him by surprise. Like some of those camera cuts off to the sideline, it did not look like a man in control or composed over there in the way that you would hope it to be the case. I think Ben Johnson's going to settle in and be just fine.
12 penalties for 127 yards. That's not a recipe for success if you're the Chicago Bears, who needed to win that game. I'm frustrated that they ended up losing that game. I did want to give a ton of credit to, of course, the Minnesota Vikings defense. You knew that they were going to be good and ready to go, and of course, know Ben Johnson just a little bit. But all in all, I thought the Bears were going to win that home opener, and of course, up double digits in the first half. I felt pretty good about that wager. But it did come down to essentially the final drive. And the Bears were faced with a few decisions. Specifically, the 2-minute warning came into play. Now, I do want to point this out. There was like 2 minutes and 20 seconds where there was a timeout, I believe, and the Bears had the opportunity to kick the field goal then.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, like, this is when you should do it because you have that 2-minute warning, bar none, and they were down to 1 timeout, I want to say, at that point in time. So you're in field goal range. You have an opportunity to kick. I get it that you might not get down there and you'll need a touchdown. Again, we're really grasping. It's not looking like you're going to come away with a victory. How I would have played it, I would have kicked the field goal.
Yeah.
The 2-minute warning would have been in my favor. Now they wait. Caleb Williams runs it down to the 1, almost scores another touchdown, doesn't get in, throws a pass. I think it was DJ Moore, wasn't it? DJ Moore over the middle?
Yes, I think so.
It was Moore the last touchdown. He scores. Now it's 2:02. And you have to have that 2-minute warning. It's essentially the only way you're going to get the ball back with some sort of time. I think they got it back with like 16 seconds. Not enough. 10 seconds, actually, when they returned the punt.
Right.
Not enough. So that 2-minute warning was a timeout. And Ben Johnson, dude, you got to know better.
Yeah.
Like, this is your job. My timeline, and I feel like we say this so many times with college football and NFL, maybe sometimes NBA as well. Like, my timeline knew. Like
I mean, and we got like Brian Callahan down there in Tennessee not knowing the catch rules over by the sideline, that's insane. Like, that's a fireable offense.
Literally comes out and says one elbow. What do you say? One elbow is not.
He had his elbow down, and he said, "Well, we didn't see where his feet. He's got to get his feet down too," which is just not true.
He said one elbow does not mean
Correct.
2 feet, and it was like, wait a minute. Yes, it does, bro.
Yeah.
Look at the rule book. And I'm not trying to kill Ben Johnson, but like, you have to be better. This is part of being the head coach. I believe in his play calling ability. I believe in what he brings to the table as far as, the morale and the boosting that he's been able to provide for that franchise has been in the dumps. But here it is, a moment where you it's either yes or no, right or wrong, and he got it wrong. And then on the kickoff, he tells the kicker, Santos, apparently to kick it past the end zone, and the kicker didn't have enough leg. Here's Ben Johnson talking about exactly that.
The intent was for the ball to go out of the end zone.
And was there, do you guys consider onside kick? I mean, how did that?
Yeah, it did. We felt like if we had kicked it out of the end zone and gotten the 3-and-out that we got, we would get the ball back with around 56 seconds.
And that's correct, because the 2-minute warning would have been a timeout for you.
Right, because that specific context, I think 2:02 was on the clock.
Correct.
And also shout out Kevin O'Connell for this. Had the kick returner caught the ball, looked to the sideline,
looked at him,
and O'Connell is signaling to go out. But by him going out and burning those 2 seconds, you get under the 2-minute warning. That is like the difference in you having an actual chance to come back. And I mean, Ben Johnson is pointing to this being an execution issue, that they had that plan. Who knows if the message got relayed to the kicker, if he just came up and, did not catch that one right, whatever the case may be. The bottom line is that they came up short in executing that. But those are the little things that matter over the course. Like that specific kick right there. You're right about the field goal point in general, but that specific kick is the difference between you having a real chance at getting another score and not. And they failed on that.
It was 2:21. That was it. 2:26, he threw an incomplete pass on 2nd and 10 to DeAndre Swift. So there's 2:26 from the 34-yard line. Kick the field goal.
Yeah.
Why not? Like, I hate to play Monday morning quarterback, Tuesday morning quarterback here, but this is what I was saying last night, because you needed that 2-minute warning. Now, I will give him credit. He got lucky, because the fact is Caleb Williams gets down to the 2:02 mark. Like I said, he runs that ball down to the 1-yard line, should have got into the end zone and did not. I think that would have been 2:12 on the clock. So maybe he was rolling the dice a little bit, but why even cut it close? You needed that timeout. Get the field goal, give your opportunity, or give your defense an opportunity to go 3-and-out, get the ball back. You never know what's going to happen. Instead, you knew exactly how that was going to play out once it seeped past the 2-minute warning. All right, NFL Week 1 in the books. Get involved with the conversation. Your biggest surprise. Other side, I want to do this. It's fantasy season just happened, and we continue to play, and I love fantasy. I'm in 3 leagues, went 1 and 2. Ugh. Did you win in the Gambler League?
I won in Gambler League, lost in the other one. By the way, I got a ridiculous trade proposal on the Gambler.
Oh,
which
you did?
We can highlight, yeah.
All right, let's bring that on the other side. Who sent it?
Let me check right now. I saw the team, whatever Puka team name it has. I got to look at the owner here. This popped up on the drive here.
Oh, I didn't get any. Why does nobody want to trade with me? Because my team is bad? Is that why?
Don't Puka? I think that might be Mark Henry Jr. right there.
Oh, see, Mark Henry Jr.'s trying to make some things happen. I like it. That's some show synergy on a Saturday that you guys could discuss. All right, you'll give us that trade proposal on the other side. Beef took me out. Beef actually won. But I want to have fun with this, because, of course, we look at Nick Sirianni in a positive manner, and, of course, what took place last night with O'Connell and Ben Johnson. I want to do a little fantasy draft with the head coaches. And we'll do real quick as far as Snake is concerned, 10 picks on the other side. You'll go first. You'll draft your number one coach. I'll go second. And we'll see who is in our top 10 as a show here.
I like
from the coaching draft week 1 edition. I just want to see who we view as the top 10 coaches right now in the NFL. I think that'll be an interesting exercise. Coming up at 4:05, though, we'll hit the fast forward button and take a look at all of the numbers for NFL week 2 with our Tuesday's Tells segment. Oh, by the way, a lot of line movement. I mean, I'm talking 3, 4, 5-point swings in some of these games. Of course, injuries are a huge deal, but it really does come down to the sharps really setting the markets for a lot of these numbers / games. So we'll hit that at 4:05. Larry Henry Jr. at 4:30, and all things college football in the 5 o'clock hour. It's the Daily Ticket. Sean Barnard hanging with us on a Tuesday. You got to love it. More after this.
The Gambler. Phillies home for all things sports.
Our
gambling.
2025 iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One.
September 19th and 20th at T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas. Streaming live only on Hulu.
Limited tickets still available at AXS.com.
Get yours while you still can.
Capital One is the proud presenting partner of iHeartRadio Music Festival, bringing great products, rewards, and services to its customers. What's in your wallet?
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Roadwork has a crawling 422 westbound Collegeville to Royersford. 95 northbound Sabago Vine Expressway up to Bridge from an earlier crash southbound heavy Cotman to the Betsy Ross. Schuylkill Jam westbound University Divine and Boulevard to Belmont. I have to tell it total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
Homeowners, have you been waiting to renovate or pay down debt? Mortgage rates have been dropping, so it may be time to tap into your home's equity. Get started at rocketmortgage.com. Call 800-863-4332 for cost information and conditions. Rocket Mortgage LLC, licensed in all 50 states. NMLS-ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
You know what's great about your investment account with the big guys? It's actually a time machine. Log in and zoom. Welcome back to 1999. It's time for an upgrade. At public.com, you can invest in almost everything. Stocks, bonds, options, and more. You could even put your cash to work at an industry-leading 4.1% APY. Leave your clunky, outdated platform behind at public.com. Go to public.com and fund your account in 5 minutes or less. Paid for by Public Investing Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Full disclosures at public.com/disclosures.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
America's #1 app for radio is iHeart. Live radio, trusted DJs, breaking news, live play-by-play, plus the station you're listening to right now, anytime, anywhere. Join the millions who already have it. Open the free iHeart Radio app today. The #1 app for radio.
Hey, want to hear something great? Right now at Wendy's, you can get 2 of the #1 selling bacon cheeseburger in all fast food, the JBC, plus medium fries and a medium soft drink for just $8. Want to hear something else great? Double the burger means double the bacon. Now that's a game changer. 2 of the #1 bacon cheeseburgers with fries and a drink for just $8. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Request $8 JBC meal deal to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price.
Do you own or manage a business here in Philadelphia? Are you unsure where to start when it comes to advertising? Well, here's a surprise. Fox Sports The Gambler, your local iHeart station, is the one place you can get it all. Hey, it's Sean Brace, and we can help with everything from radio and podcast ads to social media and digital. And we can even get local voices like mine spreading the word about your business. So if you're looking for someone to take care of it all, do yourself a favor right now. Call 844-844-iHeart or visit iHeartAdvertising.com today. Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at TopDogLaw.com. Once again, that's TopDogLaw.com. Having some fun here. So there is, that's a segment in its own right. What's making noise on the timeline? As I was pulling in, Danny Cannell, who is, he knows what he's doing. He's been doing it a long time. He loves to get the clicks, and that's what we do it for. I think a lot of people do, whatever. But no, he's a college football junkie, and he watches all the games. And I saw him single out, and he did specifically say, I'm not trying to attack this girl, but she is an AP voter, and this was what her take was. This is a college football deal. Now, the AP voting, Sean, if I could ask you this question, if you could give me the answer, if you know, it's important because of at the beginning of the season, of course, you already have the teams where they're at.
Yeah.
So regardless of where they're ranked or regardless of what they did in the offseason, this is where they're starting. So it somewhat could be viewed as unfair.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It could be based off of, popularity, guessing. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Alabama's going to be great.
Right.
But now more than ever, it's important because of the rankings for the playoff seeds will come out with week 10, I think they come out, whatever it is, later in the year. So that could still seep into that conversation, correct?
Oh yeah. And it's still a resource that is utilized across the board. Those are reference points that I think everyone uses of they're ranked, 12th in the AP poll and all that kind of thing. So it does not matter conversations like that. It does. It certainly still does. So I didn't love the response here. I'll let you set it up a little bit more.
Yeah. Look, I've never heard of this girl, and I'm wondering how many people do you have a guess how many people are in the AP voting world?
I don't know.
She said it's hundreds.
I'm going to look it up while you play this, but I wouldn't imagine that many.
I'm not even going to play it.
Okay.
It's because it's bad.
Yes.
This girl is a voter for the AP. Her name is Haley Sawyer. Her bio on X reads as USC Sports for SoCal News Group, adjunct professor for College of the Canyons plus CSUN on IG, Haley herself, if you care to give her a follow. She's holding a football in her bic. I'm sure she loves college football. She's a voter. I'm sure she, it takes pride in her work, whatever it may be. I hope.
Didn't come off like that.
It did not come off. The clip that she is now getting torched for, she is doing an interview and she's like, well, I'm not going to go into my reasons, but I, very,
and that's the part that's garbage to me. Yeah.
Very surfer type chick. And it's like, wait a minute, Beef checked in. Beef's like, dude, I live and die by this stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's the part that's garbage to me. If you want the take, stand on it, back it up, have your reasons, go for it. And what specifically people are up in arms about is she moved Florida up 2 spots after they lost to South Florida, to
Correct.
USF, who's a good football team. That's not like an end of the well, it kind of is an end of the world loss for Florida being viewed in the lens that I think it was expected to be the case. That was a game I believe they were favored by 17 points.
Yes.
Like they were expected to win that.
At the Swamp.
At the Swamp, yeah. If your take is that Florida impressed you by losing to USF, then lay that out to me. Tell me why. It does not matter came off really sour to me. And what's your guess for how many AP voters there are?
From what she just said, I would say like 200, 150?
62.
And she's one of them?
Correct, yeah.
Wow. That is hysterical.
Right. Like, it should be an honor. It should be a privilege to get these kind of voting rights. You should be taking it seriously. And, like, again, I would feel less strongly about this if she doubled down, backed it up. These are my reasons. This is why I feel that way. That was not at all the direction she went.
Oh, man. Yeah, I almost didn't want to play it because I didn't want to, steer into that world where it's like, again, because there are plenty of women who are diehard college football fans that would probably roll their eyes at the way she reacted to that question. Like, dude, what are you doing?
Oh, yeah. There are a million college football fans like that would have at least a more passionate, direct take on this than what she gave there. And I'll speak to it like
the way she answered that question. I thought there was 200.
Right. Yeah. No, it was a lower number than I was expecting there too. And I'll speak to this very much bothers me from the NBA perspective for the voting on those awards because there's a million of those writers too. And it's a lot of guys that I personally feel do not watch ball to the level it should require to make this level of voting. Like there are quotes or, votes that'll come out that just feels like such groupthink to me. And it's like, have you actually watched these guys? Is this actually your take, or are you just kind of riding along with the crowd? Because I think there's a lot of people that do that, especially in the NBA world.
It's crazy too, Sean, because like if you are in that world where you are a Heisman Trophy voter or a baseball voter for the MVP awards or whatever, like
take it serious.
How do you not take it serious?
It's an honor. It should be an honor.
How did she get that vote? That's what we need to find out.
That's a good question.
How you get 62? Who handed that to her? I know how John Jansen's voting for the Heisman. Dick Girardi hooked him up. Yeah. Shout out Dick. Good dude. Was talking to Dick last night. And Jansen loves college football. He's dialed in. He's doing a little bit from the card memorabilia world these days. But, he's still talking some ball. Loving it. And, he's a Heisman Trophy voter, and he does look at it as the way it's an honor, as what you just said. So,
and all I'm getting for the AP poll process, it says becoming a voter for the Associated Press Top 25 is not an open application process, but rather an invitation-only role.
Absolutely.
Which it should be. But, again, like this says the AP selects a panel of about 60 to 65 sports journalists. For this year, the number is 62, including writers and broadcasters who work for member news organizations and cover college football. AP employees themselves do not vote. So I don't know how specifically she got in this role. It does seem like she does like some legitimate college football coverage. I'm not saying.
Oh, wow. She's getting buried.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough look. And I would imagine people are asking the question that I just asked. How the hell did she get that vote? How long has she been voting? And I'm not even trying to make a big deal about this. But like I said, where it comes back to like this is flawed is it seeps into the playoff rankings.
Yes.
As we just brought up, South Florida, they have had potentially two of the biggest wins. Yeah. They probably have a better resume than anybody in college football right now.
Yeah, and they got Miami this week. So they beat Boise, they beat Florida, and now they play Miami this week. It's another game where they're like heavy underdogs in. I think the numbers moved quite a bit.
17, I want to say it was, yeah.
But if they produce like a convincing result, even if they don't beat Miami, if they're in the mix for this game, you got to view them as like legit. Like that's as polished a resume as you can have in college football at this stage in the game.
We're actually going to talk a lot of college football coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, where Beef was scheduled to join us, but he's getting his haircut, Sean. Nobody gets their haircut more than Beef. I got to tell you, it's been one of the very few things that I'm happy being bald about is not having to see a barber, not having to go wait in line. Who cuts your hair?
So I'll give Sport Clips a little love.
You go to Sport Clips.
That are great clips. I won't lie. I used to have a nice barber, like a legit barber back when I was living up in Reading, and kind of had my guy, shout out Zaul, who moved to Florida.
Zaul
left me hanging there. Now I don't do anything complicated with my hair. I just pop in whenever I got like a free hour.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right.
trim. Give me one on the sides, trim it up on top.
I used to go see this guy Lou on Main Street in Manayunk. That was the last time that I was getting my hair cut. This is probably 2009, 2010, late as max as possible. Yeah, 2010. And he used to do this thing, dude. I'm telling you right now. I'm not lying to you. And it was a little weird too. But he would like rub your ears after it was done. Like he would, boom, he'd get the powder, he'd do all that, and he'd give you a little bit of a massage. I mean, oh man, it would make your leg kick like you're a dog. That's how good it felt. Like, yeah, wow. Lou, what's going on over there?
You sure you're not missing those?
Yeah, exactly. I think Lou's been passed away for a little while. He was definitely an elder gentleman, but Lou, was where I went to get my hair cut on Main Street. Oh, by the way, Main Street's changed a little bit. The other day, you know how the GPS in your car will pick up like places that are, whether it's restaurants or whatever. How about this? I took this is just yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
In Manayunk, there is a pole dancing exercise place.
Wow.
What?
Taking lessons, Bryce?
It is Awakenings Pole Dance Fitness.
That might be a good fantasy football punishment right there.
Wow. I like where your mind goes on that one. Nice work on that, Sean Barnard. Yeah.
We do have a little breaking news from Adam Schefter on the Jalen Carter situation.
Hold up. Let me do it. Sean Barnard, what do we got?
We have breaking news that the NFL is fining Eagles defensive tackle Jalen Carter $57,222 for spitting on Dak Prescott.
My Lord.
The league also says that the game he was ejected will serve as a one-game suspension. Quote, after talking to the Eagles, the NFL, and the NFLPA, Jalen has decided not to appeal and focus on the Chiefs game.
Yeah, that's exactly the way it should be. Good. He literally missed every single snap in that game. That was the game suspension. It was a dumb move by him. He was very contrite following the game. I thought he was honest, and I think we can all move on. The people that were begging for a suspension, come on, man, especially Eagles fans too. You got to suspend him. Who are you? There's so many negative people in this city that root on our teams.
I had somebody in my comments saying how he should be suspended the entire season.
Was it Albert Breer?
It was not, but quite spirited, quite very firm in this opinion here.
Ridiculous. All right, let's keep it moving here. Sean Barnard hanging all Tuesdays now, moving forward. Full show, right into the Villanova Coaches Show. Head coach Mark Ferrante, Steve Pannone coming your way from Chicky and Pete and Drexel Hill. That's coming up at 6 o'clock. But we got you up until then. It's the Daily Ticket. Other side, let's do it. It's the Tuesday Tells. And we're going to take a look at the numbers for NFL Week 2, where they opened and how much they have moved in the last 24 hours due to injury, sharp setting the line, all that and more. It's going to be a segment that we're going to lock in. Look, bottom line is, if you're going to wager, you have to get in front of these numbers before they do jump off a cliff and move whatever significant way. It's tough, though. Number one, you still got a Monday Night Football game. You're recapping, especially from a conversational standpoint, right? Like, I opened up the show yesterday. I want to talk about what took place and preview the Monday Night Football game. Oh, by the way, you need to look ahead. I can't do that. So I'm going to do it on Tuesdays, and especially since you're here, we'll talk about some storylines and whether or not we are leaning one way or the other. And I think it's important for us to somewhat guess where the number will be come kickoff and see if we're right or wrong, because that's where, you can get caught up. If you think an injury is going to happen or a guy's going to be ruled out, you're like, oh, that number is going to be 6. The next thing he plays, which we see a lot, and it ends up going off at a field goal. So definitely a fun exercise we will do on Tuesday at 4 o'clock moving forward. He's Sean Barnard. I'm Sean Brace. It's Daily Ticket. More after this.
We don't just watch college football. We live it. How did he stay on?
Oh, can't believe that girl. Unbelievable.
Join us for the stories, the scores, and the Saturday magic. It's The Gambler.
Good morning. Welcome to Today.
From back to school to tackling your to-do list, the Today Show is your best start to the day.
It's a new season, and every morning we're here to help you take it all off.
as the forecast called for football all across the country.
Blockbuster stars, live concerts, and so much more. Wake up to where it's all happening.
We're getting back to all of it, and the best way to start is together.
Watch The Today Show, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. on NBC.
DraftKings presents a message on responsible gaming.
If you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right.
Whatever your wager, sometimes
You got to know when to hold 'em,
there are no locks or sure things. So
know when to fold 'em,
And if you feel like you're ready for a break,
know when to walk away.
remember, it's more fun when it's for fun.
When the dealing's done.
Well said, man. Well said. At DraftKings, we believe it's more fun when it's for fun, and we want it to stay that way. We provide customers with helpful tools so they can set budgets, limits, and cool-off periods, and we encourage all customers to use these tools. So play responsibly. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, 21 plus. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction.
So far, Gorillas Wrestling is going over the edge. On Saturday, September 13th, the action explodes at the Harrison Park grounds, 22nd and Harrison Avenue. Spotlight Sports Entertainment brings you 7 edge-of-your-seat wrestling matches featuring the hardest-hitting Super Gorillas stars. Afterwards, enjoy some of the hottest local artists. Join us in the fight to slam down Alzheimer's, to raise funds to battle this disease. Bring your family, bring your energy, and get ready for a night of suplexes and soundtracks, all for one powerful cause.
CEOs you should know, brought to you by Comcast Business.
Tony O'Donovan, President and CEO of Arkema Inc. Well, Arkema is a specialty materials company. Our purpose is to bring sustainable solutions to the world, which really means that we're bringing a lot of materials to companies that impact people's lives. You see them in a lot of products that you touch day to day. We have composites that can be completely recycled. Probably our biggest aspect is providing durability for materials that our customers can use. So whether it's a 3D printed machine part that can be used and that's stronger than steel used in aerospace, we see ourselves very much as part of the community. For instance, our partnership with Habitat for Humanity brings the ability to be part of the community, support Philadelphia. Our employees really enjoy volunteering and seeing the impact they bring to people's lives, particularly around areas of education. Plus, one of our areas that we are in the market of is sport. So that brings about our association with the Philadelphia Union Foundation. If I look at Philadelphia compared to other places I've lived, we have really good people that are very well internationally connected, highly educated, and a good sense of community, and really tie into some of the values that Arkema likes to portray around solidarity, inclusion, performance. Those are values we want to have, and the people fit really well. So we find that people that join Arkema from the Philadelphia region are really successful with us.
To find out more, go to Arkema.com. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency. All over Febreze car clips right on your bed. You know my car's my happy place. Keep a smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah, breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Homeowners, have you been waiting to renovate or pay down debt? Mortgage rates have been dropping, so it may be time to tap into your home's equity. Get started at rocketmortgage.com. Call 800-863-4332 for cost information and conditions. Rocket Mortgage, LLC. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook.
Pro Football Talks reporting a suspension remains on the table for Eagles defensive tackle Jalen Carter after his ejection for spitting on the Cowboys' Dak Prescott. The NFL has banned a Bills fan from their stadiums for life after he slapped the Ravens' Lamar Jackson and DeAndre Hopkins Sunday night. And the right side of the Phil's infield is on the shelf with Trey Turner and Alec Boehm hitting the IL Monday. Philly hosts the Mets again tonight. I'm Scott Davidson.
The NFL season is rolling. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. New customers download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SPORTS to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. That's code SPORTS only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Pennsylvania only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
It's Crawling Boulevard northbound, Schuylkill to Broad with a disabled vehicle in the right lane. The westbound Schuylkill, Jan, University to Girard, and Montgomery Drive to Belmont, eastbound. Stop and go Montgomery Drive to South. 95 northbound jam from the Vine Expressway up to Bridge Street. Large Tella, total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
Homeowners, have you been waiting to renovate or pay down debt? Mortgage rates have been dropping, so it may be time to tap into your home's equity. Get started at rocketmortgage.com. Call 800-863-4332 for cost information and conditions. Rocket Mortgage, LLC. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Hey, want to hear something great? Right now at Wendy's, you can get 2 of the #1 selling bacon cheeseburger in all fast food, the JBC, plus medium fries and a medium soft drink for just $8. Want to hear something else great? Double the burger means double the bacon. Now that's a game changer. 2 of the #1 bacon cheeseburgers with fries and a drink for just $8. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Request $8 JBC meal deal to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check for your wallet first before hitting the drive-thru.
$6.
Sorry, forgot my wallet. I have change, though. Here's 40 cents, another 40. Ooh, a bicentennial.
What's that?
Oh, gosh.
Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
#1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeart Radio app. WDAS and WD273D Philadelphia is Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler.
Your attention, please.
You're listening to The Daily Ticket with Sean Brace, Philly's first daily sports gambling show.
Let us see the dough.
On Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. The action starts here.
Goodbye! You know, if I was the commissioner of college football, I would take her AP vote, Sean Barnard, today. Only 62 people voting. Now, look, I'm not trying to get too crazy here, and I'm out for blood over AP voting, but come on. This is a deal that people would kill to do, as you pointed out. They would take serious, that don't miss these games. Like, I'm not even in that world, but let me tell you, college football is on. I'm watching these games because I feel bad if I'm putting information out there that like I don't believe or I didn't see. And it's really tough. I'll give you an example. In the Raiders and Patriots game, it made me think, because I just heard this on the radio yesterday. Vrabel gave up on the game. He punted down 2 scores with like at the 50 or something like that.
Yeah.
And late in the fourth. I missed that. And that bothered the hell out of me that I missed that. So now I'm like trying to think to myself if I need Sunday ticket, but I'm not watching all these. How can you watch all the games if you don't have 100 screens?
That's maybe her defense here too, by the way.
Get out of here.
But I will say, like, to the point, what offends me the most about it is like that is an opportunity that so many people would kill for and put in the work and are very well informed on the topic, the situation, have the takes. And what bothers me the most about her specifically in this is the way that she did, like, she just doubled down by just believe me, this is just what I think. Like, if that's your take, stick to it. Give me your logic that even though they lost, I thought they looked really good in this area, or blah, 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 whatever the case. I think it's an impossible position to defend anyway, because Florida straight up looked bad while losing to South Florida. But nonetheless, we'll see how it all rides out. She's definitely getting dragged through the mud right now.
Oh, she's getting crushed. Yeah, we'll find out who gave her that vote to begin with. If you have no idea what we're talking about, we're going to move on. So don't even lose sleep about it. Anyways, let's do this Tuesday segment that we're going to make official moving forward. It's the Tuesday Tells. And all it is that the opening numbers for NFL week 2 now, but of course, moving forward, whatever week that will be, essentially make moves and take shape due to whether it's the sharp bettors, the injuries, or just public perception. But the number starts to take shape over the first 24 hours. It's like the first 48. You got 48 hours to solve a murder. Well, in the first 48 hours, you're going to see lines move a lot. And we already have had a ton of line movement. So let's do it here. Week 2. Let's get into some of these matchups, big storylines, and whether or not you think that the public might be out of their minds as far as where they're at so far on some of these numbers. We open up Thursday Night Football, Packers, Commanders, both teams 1-0 on the early season. Sean Barnard, Packers opened up a 1.5 game in Green Bay, now up to 3.5. What's your big takeaway there?
Yeah, I think the Packers have the early look of being the media darling this year, the team that everyone's in love with. And I think that is why there is the shift here. I'll also note, yes, the Commanders won, but I think that was a matchup that said more about the Giants than the Commanders directly here.
Really?
That was pretty atrocious offensive showing across the board. I forget what stat I saw about how many week ones. I think 3 in a row that they've yet to score a touchdown under Brian DeBull there. Russell Wilson looked bad, atrocious even, I would go as far as to say there. I do think the quarterback change is going to be pretty imminent there. So nonetheless, I think that that was the takeaway from that matchup. Washington, I don't think really gets too many points in that favor. And I think people are in love with the Packers right now. So that is why my guess is the line has shifted in that direction.
3.5. Wow, that is a lot. Thursday night, also short, not a lot of rest, of course, at the home, and you can go back and look at the history and whether or not it's more beneficial to play the home squad in that. I think it's going to be a great team. If you made me make a pick right now, I might be leaning towards the Commanders, but
really,
yeah, we'll see how that one shakes out over the next few days here. Oh, by the way, survivor pool play. Yeah, the Cowboys are absolutely alive for me, taking on the Giants, how bad the Giants were. We will get to that game in a second. Let's get to the 1 o'clock windows on Sunday, Dolphins and Patriots. This one opened up Miami at home. Both teams 0-1 on the season, division rivals. Dolphins 2.5-point favorites. Money coming in on the Patriots. It's now 1.5. Your read.
Yeah, both teams, I think the stock dropped a little bit in week 1 there. Miami looked especially bad to me. It wouldn't shock me if by the time kickoff rolls around that this flips and that the Patriots are favorites in this matchup here. I think it's going to continue trending in that direction. It just feels like we're on the brink of straight up disaster down in Miami, and I don't think this is a matchup where it gets better. So while the Patriots did lose in week 1, I think it was more of an acceptable loss where you did play Geno Smith and Pete Carroll and a more respectable Raiders squad than I think they've been given credit here. My lean is towards the Patriots outright winning this game, and it wouldn't shock me if the line flips in their favor.
All right, something to keep our eyes on there. Next one up, Jags and Bengals. Both teams 1-0 on the season. Cincinnati, very lucky. One of the more disappointing performances in week 1. Very lucky to come away with that victory against Cleveland. Joe Burrow and he's got to play. You got to get off to a fast start. And then threw for what? 117, whatever it was. Scored on the first drive, too. Actually looked good. Jags, for my money, looked really good against the Carolina Panthers. Had them. This one opened at 5.5. I think that would be a little bit too high for my liking, and the public is right there with me. Now down to 3.5. Cincinnati at home favored. Anything for you here?
Yeah, I really thought it was going to be the year that this is where the Cincinnati Bengals come sprinting out of the gates, and that did not prove to be the case. They got a win, so we got to take that as improvement, but really just squeaking that out against the Cleveland Browns there didn't really inspire confidence in me. So I think that's why the number is dropping there, and I think there's a little bit of doubt that this Bengals team can be a step on the neck and blow out teams type of like overall franchise here, that it does feel like they're going to squeak to their wins in a way that I don't think should be the case with that roster. So yeah, going from 5.5 to 3.5, I think that the odds are indicating this is going to be a down to the wire matchup, and I think that's pretty fair.
Next one up, we got the Browns and Ravens. And this is, first of all, the first 3 games that we just discussed, all the shops, all the sports books had the same number. This is the first game that we're seeing a couple different numbers all over the place. Double-digit spread. Ravens opened up as 12.5-point favorites. It's as low as 10.5 at some shops. DraftKings has it at 11.5. I'm seeing 12.5 here at Caesars. So Ravens are anywhere from a 10.5 to 12.5. But you can find a number that will be a little bit more beneficial to whichever side you like. Again, double-digit spread. Baltimore at home, taking on a god-awful Cleveland Browns squad. Joe Flacco going back home to Baltimore. Is there any chance they keep it close in your mind?
Joe Flacco still elite. I do like the cover in this matchup here. I think this is one of those games where it's a divisional matchup. There's a little bit more fight and, juice in it. And I do wonder if maybe this initial line opened up at halftime of Sunday Night Football and then came down after the fact there. So I need to see the Ravens play a complete 4 quarters of football. I think this Browns team, they're not good, but they are a little stingy. They are a little competitive, that I think they'll hang in there a little bit. That number, the double digits in a divisional game, I still kind of lean towards them covering that as my initial feel.
Yeah, there's a lot of trends that would be a little bit something beneficial to pay attention to. I do want to bring up the fact that Cleveland's defense at times did look good in that game. Again,
Myles Garrett was everywhere.
Yeah,
man.
He was. I mean, Myles Garrett is a Defensive Player of the Year contender. Again, obviously won the award already. All right, next one up. Yeah, if you made me make a selection now, that's tough. That's a lot of points this early in the season.
Yeah.
But Baltimore had it cooking. They're going home. That is a tough spread right there. I don't know if I would give you the 12 or take the 12. How about the 10.5? I'll give you 10.5, and I'll go to where is that? I think that is. Who is that? Is that Caesars? I think that's Caesars. Yeah, Caesars is 10.5, as I said. So we'll go to that shop. All right, next one up, let's talk about the Giants and the Cowboys. This one opened up at 4.5. Cowboys at home. Of course, they ended up losing to the Eagles on Thursday night. Giants ended up losing to the Commanders. Both teams looking for their first win here. 4.5 opened. Mostly 6s. You see some 5.5s at 2 shops. Let's just say 6 right now from 4.5. Where are you at in this one?
Yeah, another divisional matchup here, an NFC East battle between the Cowboys and Giants. In general, my gut reaction for that is to typically bet the underdog to cover there. Don't think I feel that way in this one, but I still feel I left Thursday night feeling more positive about the Cowboys than I expected to be the case, that I thought Dak Prescott looked good. I thought the team looked at least competent in a way that I was unsure of. And the Giants, the exact opposite from what I saw from week 1. I think until there is a quarterback change, this offense really is not going to have a pulse there. I kind of think the Cowboys have a chance to pick up their first win and could come pretty convincingly.
Yeah, that's where I'm thinking as well. I just look at what, as far as the Giants looked like on offense. And unless they go to Jackson Dart in that first quarter, and I know that Dable said it wasn't Russell Wilson's fault. It's everybody's fault.
It's got to be somebody's.
Yeah, Malik Neighbors is yelling. It's not a good look already for the Giants. They need to be, I would imagine that Giants fans are already hearing the ESPN draft jingle in their minds already. So that is not exactly what you want. Is that it right there? No. What happened to my jingle? What happened to my jingle? Monday Night Football, ESPN Tonight. What happened to my jingle? Did it get deleted? Oh, come on, man. That's not it, is it? The NFL draft is just... Oh, come on. My jingle got deleted. Come on. All right. Well, the Giants are already looking at the draft. Oh, by the way, we'll be in Pittsburgh 2026. All right. Rams and Titans. The game being played in Tennessee. It's looking like it opened up at 5.5, and that's where we're at right now. So nothing really happening in this one. Tennessee, Cam Ward was atrocious as far as the box score showed. I thought he played okay though.
I push back at the atrocious takes because I've seen a lot of that. With
No, the
Cam Ward.
box score though was
Correct.
ugly. Box score was ugly.
Second worst QBR of the NFL of quarterbacks this week, only above Tua, which was a whole nother story there. I thought Cam Ward looked. I wouldn't go as far as excellent, but he checked all the boxes that I was hoping for. He was throwing seeds down the stretch. He was just being dropped by Titans wide receivers. So I feel better about Cam Ward than I thought I would after week 1. And my gut here is, to be honest, for Tennessee to cover, that I do think that he's going to keep this team competitive. Wow. I would like it if they gave him another competent wide receiver, but I think that this Tennessee team could be a sneaky cover team.
Really?
I do.
Yeah, I look at that game there, and it is intriguing because the Rams did come away with the victory against the Houston Texans. You know that offense is going to be cooking. But Tennessee back home with a new quarterback, they might have some juice. You know, could be the game. Like they're saying, all right, we need to make it happen. Let's do it. Let's figure this out right here, right now. And I don't know if they're capable of against the Rams offense, but we'll see. There it is.
There we go.
There it is. I had to find it. Come on, man. That stays in the folder. I don't know how I deleted that. All right, let's go to the next one. Bills and Jets. Jets 0-1. Bills with the miraculous comeback in the fourth quarter, down 15 with 4 minutes to spare. 8.5 open. Money coming in on the JETS. Jets. We're now 6.5 on DraftKings Sportsbook, Sean.
Yeah, who we have not given enough love to on the show just yet, because Justin Fields looked excellent this week. I'm a believer in what the Jets are building, man, that this is too many points for me. I like them to cover in this matchup here, whether it's 8.5, whether it's 7. I think this is going to be a one-score game that goes down to the wire. I do think that New York is starting to build like a defensive identity that works. Josh Allen is obviously a problem. It's going to be a difficult matchup. Won't come easy, but I'll take the points and think this one stays close.
All right, Lions and Bears opened up at 4.5. Money coming in. Yeah, money coming in on the Lions. We're now up to 5.5. Some shops are showing 6. Not a big believer in Ben Johnson going back to Detroit. Your thoughts?
Yeah, obviously some revenge in mind. I'm split on this one. This is purely like an avoid for the time being here. I think the movement is probably more in favor of that the people are believing, the public is believing that this will be a Detroit lay the hammer and get back on the right track kind of situation. I'm not sure if I fully see it that way. Again, another divisional matchup. We got a lot of them this week. Who knows what happens in this? I think neither one of these teams I feel particularly great about after week 1.
Yeah, it's tough because, like I said, the biggest disappointment for me was the Detroit Lions and how bad they looked. Could they right their wrongs? I don't know. It just looked like a lost cause on offense, and it's a shame because of all that talent they have there. Gibbs had 10 catches out of the backfield.
Yeah. For what was the yards?
3.1 per.
Yeah, I saw he was for any wide receiver in NFL history with 10 receptions in a game, or any player with 10 receptions in a game, that was the fewest yardage that has ever been pulled in.
It's almost impossible to do.
Yeah.
Especially that guy. But I think maybe Green Bay's defense needs a little bit more love.
Definitely.
Right?
They looked awesome. I thought Micah Parsons made an impact, that they were pushing the pocket from start to finish. I think that they got a complete unit on both sides of the ball in Green Bay.
Steelers and Seahawks opened up. Steelers a 1.5 favorite, now up to a field goal in favor of the Pittsburgh Steelers. 1-0 on the season. They beat the Jets. Seahawks lost a tough one at home to the 49ers. Have to board the flight and head to Pittsburgh. 3-point spread right now for Pittsburgh. Sean, what say you?
I like the 3-point spread in favor of Pittsburgh, but I do think Sam Darnold will eventually turn to a pumpkin this year in the same way that was the case last year, in a far more quarterback-friendly system that was the case in Minnesota. I'll give Aaron Rodgers some credit, man. I've been declaring this dude straight up dead from an NFL perspective for months to this point. He looks pretty good in week 1. That was the most play-action passes play-action touchdowns that he's had since 2016 that he did in that matchup, the way that they had him rolling out there. So pretty impressive stuff, the way they utilized him. I thought he had a little bit of a pep in his step that I did not think was still in the tank.
Seahawks were very disappointing. Although Njigba looked good, sometimes Darnold looked all right. They weren't able to get anything going in the run game. Defensively, I thought they looked all right against the run, but there were just some spots that the 49ers were able to again, that comes to Shanahan. Shanahan was able to dial up some great plays, especially using McCaffrey out of the backfield. We'll see if McCaffrey can remain healthy, but this is more about the Seahawks.
He looked good.
He did. He looked great, but can you bank on that week in, week out? Like I have McCaffrey in my one league, and I'm thinking about dangling him as a trade.
I don't hate that.
Yeah. I think it might be like, you know what? I got my one win. I'm time to move off of him. Although I have Lamar as my quarterback, McCaffrey as my 2. I also have Genty in that league as well. So I'm locked and loaded. I threw up 153. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about your fantasy squad, Sean Brace.
My Lord.
All right. Next game up, Niners and Saints. This is an interesting one because Brock Purdy, it's not looking like he's going to go. Come on down, Mac Jones. Opened up Niners on the road in New Orleans as a 7-point favorite. Now down to 4.5 across all of the shops. No Brock Purdy, let's just say. Schefter made it seem like he was not going to play, even though he is a tough SOB from Iowa State. Let's just say Mac Jones is the starting quarterback. The Saints nearly made me look like Mr. Wizard with that pull. Unfortunately, they ended up losing the game and did not cover the number, unfortunately, against the Cardinals on Sunday. Anything for you in this one, sir?
Yeah, Mac Jones versus Spencer Rattler has the potential to be a historically bad quarterback matchup here. I think it's going to be a weird game where a bunch of funky stuff happens. I'm taking the underdog and the points and bracing for whatever. So I'll rock with the Saints on the plus 4.5 as a gut feel. This is going to be messy, ugly football, and I'm going to enjoy every second of it.
Panthers Cardinals opened up at 4.5. Cards at home 6.5 is where we're at right now. This is probably going to be a survivor play for a lot of people. Cardinals at home. Panthers looked really bad in week 1.
Yeah, and as one of the leaders of the Bryce Young Stockholders Commission, ugly week 1 here. Yeah, ugly week 1 here. Even worse than what the numbers look like. There was a 4th and goal that he threw the ball out of bounds that I was like, this might be the end of the Bryce Young experience. I have no choice but continue holding my stock here. But yeah, there is nothing of logic that should point you to the Carolina Panthers here, even though I didn't think the Cardinals look spectacular either.
I think if you're putting your survivor pool play week 2 on the Cardinals, good luck on that one. Colts and Broncos. Indy at home. They won and were one of the more impressive teams both on offense and defense in week 1. Broncos look good on defense, albeit against Cam Ward, rookie quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. Not a lot of weapons there either. Looked atrocious on offense with Bo Nix throwing a couple of picks, if I'm not mistaken. I think he had 2.
2 and a fumble.
2 and a fumble. Broncos are 3.5-point favorites opened up. Now down to 2. Some shops showing 1.5 here. I'm going to ride with Daniel Jones and the Colts at home.
Wow, we might be going head-to-head here. I think I'm riding with Denver Broncos. The defense looked pretty spectacular, and I do think it's going to be like a legitimate top 5 unit from start to finish this year. I think Bo Nix, we just got to reel it in here. The biggest compliment that I would give to him for his rookie season is he played within his box. He steered the ship. He did not try and do too much. He did try to do too much in week 1. I thought he was trying to do the spectacular way too much. I think these are like just getting, the film room and make some simple adjustments type of fixes. I don't think it's anything that I'm panicked about, but it's definitely got to be better. And he'll be punished for it if that is not the case in this week. I think he cleans it up.
All right. Eagles and Chiefs in the 4 o'clock window. Actually, Broncos and Colts were at 4 o'clock. Panthers and Cardinals were at 4 o'clock. So we're in our 4 o'clock window. Eagles and Chiefs. Eagles on the road in Kansas City. Chiefs opened up a point favorite. Now it is flipped. Some shops have the Eagles as high as a 1.5 favorite. Majority, though, you're looking at a point. Heck, there's 2 right there that have the Eagles still as a 1.5 dog, if you're intriguing about firing right now on that. We both think that the Eagles will win this game. The Chiefs are dealing with a little bit of too much injury, 1 suspension, a bunch of question marks right now. I know that they will bounce back from that tough loss against the Chargers on Friday, but will they win the game? I don't know. I'll take the Birds on the road. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I will take the Birds as well. And this is the kind of game that I think you could play with the alternate spread a little bit if you're getting interesting. So looking at the weeds a bit right now, I'm going to try and play with the line on the spot. I like the Eagles to win. And if I'm going to play with that, let's go 2.5 in the Eagles' favor. You can get plus 106 odds. If you think you can win by a touchdown, minus 6.5 plus 207 odds. Woo! I think that's probably the direction that I'm going in this Eagles game. I do think that they win, and I do like the alternate lines.
Hey now.
So that's what y'all want to see, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Jalen Hurts. All right. We do have 2 Monday night football games, but let's get to Sunday nights. The Falcons and the Vikings being played in Minnesota. This one opened up. Minnesota is a 4.5-point favorite. Of course, they ended up winning last night. The Falcons ended up losing a tough one to Tampa Bay. 4.5 open, and essentially that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, I like the Falcons straight up to get the win in this one. It does seem like, by the way, the NFL is going to push J.J. McCarthy as one of these next poster boys. the amount of national games that the Vikings have this year is pretty insane. And of course, is happening right in week 2, once again against the Falcons. I loved what I saw from Michael Penix this week. That was a dude that has some serious dog in him, that's going to put it on the line, that does everything to give his team a chance to win. I think he had the game time or the touchdown that could potentially have won things twice, that he had that to Drake London, which was called incomplete, and then him fighting to get it with his legs and obviously pulling it off. He was successful in bringing that team down to tie it, and then the kicker blew it with a field goal at the end there. So I loved what I saw from Penix. I'm buying stock in this Falcons team. I think they went outright against the Vikes.
Man, right there with you as far as the Falcons love is concerned, especially for this one against the Vikings. Next one up, let's go Monday Night Football doubleheader. Bucks and Texans game being played in Houston. Houston opens up as a 1.5 favorite. Money coming in on the Texans, Sean Barnard. They're 2.5-point favorites.
Yeah, and I am more positive, I would say, on the Texans than most. It was unfortunate to see the loss where a fumble punched out at a crucial time by like the third-string running back that had it. A nice peanut punch to ultimately seal the deal on that one. I like Tampa Bay one way or another in this game, but I do think that there's a clearer baseline of this team. Baker Mayfield's the real deal. Get the Bucks to get it done.
And finally, Chargers and Raiders. Chargers on the road in Vegas. Wow, how many things could you get wrong, Brace? Chargers 3-point favorites on the road in Vegas, and now we're looking at 3.5. So money coming in on the LA Chargers here. Raiders 1-0, Chargers 1-0. Who you got?
Yeah, another divisional matchup, and I think I'll ride with the principle of taking the points to cover and see what happens. I do think the Raiders are going to be sneaky competitive from start to finish this season. This also is a game that I probably have circled from an over standpoint, and think you could probably do some fun stuffs with the player props. And I think each of these teams are going to sling it, are going to let it fly. Geno Smith and Herbert there, so I think it could be a fun one from a player prop department.
I like it. Have you apologized to Justin Herbert yet?
Nah, not yet. There's still a long season still to go. That he played great in week 1. That was one of the best games of his career. That slide to seal the game was probably the highlight of his entire NFL career. So we'll see what happens from here. A lot of football still to be played.
Slinging it. Justin Herbert out of Oregon, making it look easy down in Brazil. We'll see. As Sean Barnard texted me and said, I think that's his biggest win of his career, correct?
I think it is.
I was surprised to see he's been in the league for 6 years already.
Kind of been my point in like a large part of this. Like if he's this guy, if he's this good, the way that people want to talk about, I just need to see some more results, which have not been the case. And
regular season, you need to see postseason results.
Both. He's got.
What are you riding? He's in the West with the Kansas City Chiefs. He's throwing up ridiculous numbers stats wise.
I think he's 2 games over 500 in his career. And by the way,
again, he's in the West. He has to play the Chiefs 2 times a year.
This is where I try to get to like the fair part of the Justin Herbert conversation.
Oh, please do tell.
So the direct line in the sand, the root of this is there's the perception of if he's this caliber of talent, he should have more results. So there's people that believe that he is this caliber of talent, the results are coming. I sit on the other side of the camp. I think the results speak for themselves, and he's not that caliber of talent. When I try and be open-minded, like I was listening to give a little shout out the Bill Simmons podcast that they're talking about it, and they start going on like when he's in the pocket like that, it reminds me of Dan Marino. And that's what I'm like, we can't be doing this, man. Like the dude is just let him earn it, and nobody has ever allowed this guy to earn it. He has not earned it to this point. I need to see more.
Well, we shall see what happens this week. Pretty good one on Monday night. So another primetime game there for Justin Herbert, as Sean Barnard is the king of the Justin Herbert hate.
I will say if
haters club.
If the Raiders want to win this game, it's probably either give Herbert a lead or maybe take a 1-point lead. If you're the Raiders with like 2 minutes left to play, give him the ball. That's the safest lead in all football.
Stop it. It's regular season. We'll see what happens. All right. Larry Henry Jr. is going to join us on the other side. I always love catching up with Larry. I haven't talked to him in a minute. And the reason why I want to bring Larry on today is because our U.S. men's national team, Sean Barnard knows a thing or two when it comes to the world of soccer. They're terrible. And like, what is going on? Because I thought that we were supposed to be putting it together and this team would be somewhat of a respectable presence in next year's World Cup. It has been atrocious, and that's not, I think that's even like keeping it light. Joe Tanzi put this out today. They're playing at home. They have a friendly tonight, and they are a monster underdog. He said there's a lot going on with the U.S. men's national team right now. He understands it. Ton of issues, but it startled Tanzi to the point that the U.S. is plus 235 underdog to Japan on home soil tonight. The U.S. is in 2 spots in front of Japan in the FIFA World Rankings. So should we bet Japan tonight? I mean, is that anti-American if we do?
Probably.
A little bit.
Not.
Look, there's levels to it. It's not like you're taking Europe in the Ryder Cup. You can't do that, but I think you could bet Japan tonight if you want.
I mean, I don't know the rules for the golf betting side of things with that. I think it's kind of cool that there is like a team part of it, by the way. That is dope. I think just ride with America. Why not?
No,
give them a chance.
They stink.
Who's even playing? Is this the real squad?
Yeah, Christian Pulisic,
He's
Weston
playing?
McKennie, they're all out there.
All right, then sign me up.
They stink. Larry Henry Jr. will give us his opinion on the other side. It's daily ticket, fun stuff there. Hey, if you heard anything from the week 2 look aheads, love to get you involved at Fox PHL Gambler. And as always, we're streaming all things socials. More after this.
From Tuscaloosa to the Big House, Saturdays start here.
Howard flips it. Smith's got it, and the freshman just launches in as the Buckeyes score.
Your home for all things college football coverage. It's The Gambler.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Our 2025 iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One.
September 19th and 20th at T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas. Streaming live only on Hulu.
Limited tickets still available at AXS.com.
Get yours while you still can.
Gear up, music fans. Hyundai is back as a proud partner of the 2025 iHeartRadio Music Festival. Join us as our electrifying all-star lineup hits the stage like never before.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Boulevard northbound crawling Schuylkill to Broad with a disabled vehicle. The right lane is blocked. The westbound Schuylkill, pretty much Yale University all the way out to Belmont. Eastbound, stop and go Blue Route to Belmont and east of the Boulevard to south. The Vine Expressway eastbound crawling Schuylkill to 8th with a crash. Westbound Jan 95 to the Schuylkill merge. 95 northbound, stop and go Vine Expressway up to Bridge Street. Southbound Jan Copman to the Betsy Ross. Blue Route southbound delays approaching Broomall to Media Swarthmore. Lara Tortella, total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code radio for an extra 5% off.
Back to school time means more traffic on the roads. Streets are packed and accidents are up on the rise. If you or a loved one are involved in any accident whatsoever, Uber, Lyft accident, car wreck, slip and fall, only one man to call. That's 1-800-HURT-123. Call my man Big Al. No fee until Big Al wins, and that's what exactly he does. Once again, 1-800-HURT-123. Call Big Al today.
Stay tuned to Fox PHL The Gambler for the latest CEOs you should know.
It's Tony O'Donovan, President and CEO of Arkema Inc.
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
It's your Tuesday Sports Minute brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Week 1 of the NFL in the books. Week 2 will kick off on Thursday night at Lambeau Field as the Green Bay Packers host the Washington Commanders. Both teams 1-0 to start the season. The Packers 3.5-point home favorites. Over-under total points for this one is 48 points. Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels will face a Packers defense led by Micah Parsons. Daniels over-under total passing yards, 226.5. On the other side, Packers running back Josh Jacobs, over-under rushing yards, 77.5. New to BetMGM, sign up today using the code MINUTE to receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for full terms. 21 plus to wager. New customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Promotions vary by market. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing,
T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
That leaf pile is 100 feet tall. Your dad can't handle this. Not without the right equipment.
Yard work piling up? Gear up for fall with John Deere. Get $750 off select mowers, $2,000 off select Gator UVs, and $3,000 off select compact tractors.
Did I hear your dad got a John Deere? Yep, bad day to be a leaf pile.
Gear up for fall at an authorized John Deere dealer now through September 30th. Learn more at johndeere.com/gearupforfall.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No, call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com.
You're listening to the Daily Ticket with Sean Brace. On Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. The action starts here.
Lots going on, a lot to get to. 5 o'clock hour coming up. We'll get over to some college football conversation. The Irish, 7-point favorites against Texas A&M. That is a big, big game for Notre Dame. And quite frankly, maybe the toughest opening schedule for anybody out there in college football. Notre Dame.
South Florida would like a word.
Miami.
In
Florida, Miami.
And Boise.
A&M.
Boise State,
Oh,
Florida,
come on.
Miami.
Boise was terrible.
That's 3 straight ranked teams. I'm just saying.
I'll give the edge to Notre Dame. Texas A&M got a good quarterback. Got a good quarterback now. All right, let's go ahead and shift gears and get over to the world of soccer. Beautiful game of soccer. I saw Ray Hudson is retiring. Did you see that, Larry?
I did. Yeah, I was pretty shocked by that. Ray Hudson's had a very memorable career, and I didn't know he was 70 years old either.
He follows me. How about that? Me and Ray. Ray's a tremendous announcer in the world of soccer, and he hung it up officially today. So that was out of nowhere. Hopefully his health is all good, but that's definitely a voice that I know when I hear. Let's put it that way. Larry Henry Jr. joining us right now to talk about the beautiful game of soccer. Sean Brace, Sean Barnard. Larry, what is going on with the U.S. men's national team? Let's just start there. They got a game this evening, taking on Japan. They have lost multiple games in a row here. I thought we were supposed to be like flipping the script, getting a new coach in here, and everything was going to be moving in a positive direction for 2026 when we host the World Cup. I have a ticket that the United States of America will win the World Cup next year. Should I rip it up right now, Larry?
You should. I think you should definitely rip it up right now.
Oh,
get your money back. It's a mess right now for the U.S. men's national team. We thought that hiring Mauricio Pochettino was such an exciting signing, right? Probably the biggest coaching signing for the program in the history, and it's really been anything but that. He's coached 17 matches now, and he's only won 9. He's lost 7. The program overall has lost 6 games this calendar year, which is only the 4th time ever that's happened. They have not won in any of their last 8 matches against teams ranked in the top 25 in FIFA. I could go on and on. It's not looking good right now. I know they had a good run at the Gold Cup with a lot of B-rated players, maybe C-rated players, but losing to South Korea definitely was just another kind of another issue for Pochettino to deal with. And I think too, now a lot of his press conferences, I'm sure you've seen a lot of the quotes that have been floating around with him kind of maybe challenging the fan base a little bit, telling them kind of to relax. And it's not all about the results right now. It is about the results. Do you want to go into the World Cup losing 10, 12 matches in a row? Because I don't. And I don't think the players do either. So tonight it's a big one against Japan, another team ranked in the top 25. I'm hoping they get it turned around. They have a lot more matches scheduled later this year against good teams, and then reportedly some bigger opponents coming up next March with the likes of Portugal and Belgium reportedly on the cards. But they have to get it going, and that starts tonight in Columbus against Japan.
Yeah, and they're underdogs here. We went over those numbers already, which is just ridiculous. They're ahead of them in the rankings. So what is your read on tonight? Do you expect them to come out there and play with a little bit more of emphasis and try and figure this out and, get a victory this evening?
I like them to get the victory tonight. I know Japan's a tough team, but overall, you need something to go right. You need a spark, whether that's a couple different players in the starting lineup. Against South Korea, they weren't bad in the second half. They actually improved in the second half, but they were down 2-0 by that point. So South Korea could kind of, just defend heavy. And, we saw the South Korean goalkeeper make a lot of really good saves down the stretch. I'm hoping Pochettino changes it up with the starting lineup. Maybe Flair and Balogun in the starting lineup, just because he's, he came off the bench. He looked very lively against South Korea. Christian Pulisic, we haven't seen too much from him as of late with the national team. I'm wondering if he maybe gets a rest just because it's the start, really still the start of the European season. I think Tristan Blackman comes out. Chris Richards goes into the starting lineup. Maybe Damian Downs comes in as well. But overall, they have to get something going. I think it starts defensively. They have to play a lot better defensively. South Korea beat them pretty easily on both of the goals. If you can play good defensively, I think that'll just lead to some, counterattacks and maybe some more confidence in possession. And so hopefully a lot of changes tonight in the lineup, and I'm sure the fans are saying the same thing.
I just wonder, as far as the heart for this team, and you look at a guy like Christian Pulisic, and look, he took time off, and he's got a tough schedule, and I'm not going to crush him over that, but it's go time, and I'm not hearing from him. And of course, the play on the field isn't good enough right now, and I think it starts and ends there, no doubt. But he is obviously the captain. He is the leader of this squad. So this is a time that we need to hear more from Christian Pulisic, correct?
100%. Obviously he faced a lot of criticism over the summer about his decision to get some rest, to not be part of the Gold Cup. I know he wanted to be part of the friendlies, but no matter who you are, whether you're the number one player on the list or the last player on the list, you don't get to really pick and choose when you show up and where you show up. So I think the program, ultimately Pochettino did the right thing by leaving him out over the summer. Now he's back with AC Milan. He's scoring a couple goals to start the season, which is great, but we need to see more from him on the national team level because Pochettino has made it pretty clear. It doesn't matter if you play for the biggest leagues in Europe and the biggest competitions, or if you play in MLS. If you're playing at a high level and playing well, you're going to get an opportunity. So I don't think Christian Pulisic's job right now is particularly safe in terms of being a lockdown starter for this team. And I don't know how much longer he'll be the captain of this team, just because we've seen other guys kind of step up in the last couple months. Tyler Adams, Chris Richards, just two to name. And maybe that kind of lights a fire under Christian Pulisic because you still have about 9 months until the World Cup gets underway. But things have to happen. They got to get some results going. You definitely want to get into the World Cup on really good form and with your best players. And again, hopefully we see that over the next couple months starting tonight.
Yeah, I think Tyler Adams was the captain, right? And then did Christian take that from him? Did I get that correct? Or is Tyler still the main guy?
I believe Tyler was the guy during the Gold Cup. I'm pretty sure Christian Pulisic has it back now. It seems like that's kind of alternated between who is healthy and available.
Gotcha.
But yeah, Adams was over the summer, and I've heard a lot of fans and colleagues say that Chris Richards should get a nod as well, the defender. He's had a really good rise to being, I think, the number one center back for the program.
I see Kevin Sullivan who's tweeting out, something about the noise. I love it. Kevin Sullivan. What's going on with Kevin Sullivan at the national level, Larry?
So Kevin Sullivan was on U.S. Youth National Team duty over this window as well, and particularly I didn't really watch the match. It's hard to watch some of them, but reportedly there was an incident between him and Mathis Albert, who is another thriving prospect at the youth national team level, plays for Borussia Dortmund in Germany, and supposedly some punches were thrown in training, and I believe too the U.S. got beat pretty bad by the Netherlands. I think it was like 8-1 or 8-2 or something like that. Again, I didn't see the match fully, but yeah, and it seemed like a lot of fans on Twitter were a little worried about Kevin Sullivan and his kind of sportsmanship and everything, but you have to remember this kid's 15. He's 15. He's not at the senior national team level yet. He's not even really a consistent starter with the Union yet. Yeah. He's got big, again, he's got a lot of pressure on him right now, and there's going to be instances. And sometimes as a player, I mean, we've seen it in sports. Teammates get a little into each other's faces, have a little, fight or scuffle, and sometimes that brings out the best in a player. So, I don't really have any issue with it, and I'm glad that Kevin Sullivan went on Instagram and kind of said the correct story. It's about just moving forward.
Noise.
It's just noise. Just move forward and keep at it, because he's got a bright future ahead of him.
You're damn right it does. We got Larry Henry Jr. joining us, talking all things the world of soccer right now. All right, U.S. men's national team officially leaking oil. It's a broken down car right now on the side of 76, essentially. Let's talk about the Maserati, though. Let's talk about the Philadelphia Union. What's the latest with the Union? Where are we at in your mind? Like, if somebody approached you and said, I think this is the year that they win it all, Larry, and this is a time to take a shot at the Union, 8-1 to win the MLS Cup. Unbelievable year it's been, but you got to finish strong. Got a couple matches here, and then you got the postseason. What would you say to somebody if they asked you whether or not they should be placing a wager on the Union to win it all?
I like that bet. I'm not sure I would say that I like this team overall better than the one that lost an MLS Cup to LAFC. That team, I mean, too, Sean, that team was just firing on all cylinders on offense, on defense, all the attacking power, Andre Blake, the guys off the bench, the young guys. This team has had a really good season, a really good bounce back season under Bradley Carnell. I'm wondering, how things would go in the postseason, just because you've had a really dominant season. You've been really good at home. Defensively, they've been, I think, the best team in MLS for what it's been. But then playoff time, one match and, you say you play your worst soccer that day and you could be out. So that's the beauty, I think, sometimes of MLS, where you have there's just one game playoffs and it's, do or die. I do like that bet, though. I do think the Union are going to make a run at it. I'm not sure who in the East maybe kind of competes with them. I know Cincinnati is still kind of right behind them, but the Union did pick up a big win at Cincinnati before the international break, which puts them in a really good spot to potentially lift the Supporters Shield. It's really, down to them and San Diego. When you look at it, they're a point ahead of San Diego right now. Both teams have pretty same schedules in terms of the amount of current playoff teams that they're going to be facing over the last 5 matches. Plus, you toss in the fact that the Union have the Open Cup semifinal against Nashville SC next week, and potentially a final in that competition as well. So that's a couple more added matches. But overall, I think the Union have done a great job. Again, I think getting back to playing good defensive soccer was important. They've done that so far. They're letting up 0.9 goals per game, which is awesome. And I think, too, the scoring has just been back to what we've seen in the past, even under Jim Curtin. So good to see the Union back at it. Another big game this weekend against Vancouver, who are in the top 3 in the Western Conference.
Yeah, Union have been doing really well, and of course, just keeping the foot on the gas pedal with that big victory over Cincinnati. A lot of eyes on that game, rightfully so, with the teams 1 and 2 in the East. I did want to bring up this. I meant to bring it up, the fact that U.S. men's national team will be playing a friendly in Philly in November, Larry. That's going to be a pretty good spot. I went to the last one in 2018. I'm sure you were there as well. But I will say this, you don't get your act together, you're going to hear it. People are going to boo you here in Philly. It's a 5:00 kick. What do we know about that game? Who are they taking on?
Right now, they're going to be taking on Paraguay, I believe, in that friendly in November. It's actually, good to see the national team coming back to the Philly area. We haven't seen them, like you said, in a long while. I'm pretty sure. I think I was at that game, like you said. It was against Bolivia, I think, Memorial Day weekend or 4th of July weekend. It was one of them. And a lot of guys that are currently in the squad who got their first, second, third caps at that time. Josh Sargent, Timmy Weah, I remember. So, like I said earlier, the schedule doesn't get really any easier for the national team, over the next couple of months. They have Japan tonight. They have some matches already scheduled in October against Ecuador and Australia, 2 other teams in the top 30. And then November now they have Uruguay and Paraguay in those matches as well. So it looks like they're going to be getting a dose of all the different kind of federations here leading up to the World Cup, which is what you want because you never know who you're going to see come group stage time in that competition.
Well, I'll be trying to make that game. I'm sure you'll be up there as well. It's going to be a little crazy. I think tickets are going on sale on Thursday at 10 a.m. So good luck to everybody trying to get a ticket. But that is a fantastic venue to catch the U.S. men's national team. And it'll be a lot of fun to get up there, regardless of how poor they're playing at this point in time. Maybe they can right their wrongs over these next couple weeks, specifically tonight against Japan. Larry Henry Jr. joining us. Got to get a conversation going about the EPL. We got a big one. Got a game on Sunday. Man U, Man City. Let's go. The derby, as they say. What's going on with City? That's really like the United's got a ton of issues. They haven't been good in years. But City falling off the way that they have. Have they looked a little bit better this year? Where are you at right now?
Yeah, I wouldn't say they've looked better. They had a really good opening weekend. They played a team in Wolves who I think will be among the favorites to be in the relegation fight by end of season. They put 4 goals past Wolves on that day, but since then they lost 2-0 at home to Tottenham. Some defensive errors really cost them in that one. And then kind of similar against Brighton before the international break. They were up 1-0. Erling Haaland scored in the first half. Kind of similar story. And then the second half, they give up a penalty kick for the equalizer. And then I think it was like the second to last free kick of the match or corner kick Brighton's able to score from. So defensively, it's not been good for Man City, at least over the last 16, 20 months. They have to get it going defensively. I know they just brought in Gianluigi Donnarumma, the goalkeeper from the Italian national team and PSG. He will be competing for the number 1 job in between the posts. But and I mean, injuries haven't helped. They haven't had a lot of people healthy since the Club World Cup. Phil Foden's been out. Omar Marmoush just suffered an injury today on international duty. But this is one of the deepest squads in England, let alone Europe. So it should be, next man up mentality. I think, Manchester United could really get something from this weekend. They were able to pick up a result before the international break. They're getting those key guys kind of in flow. Brian Mbomo, Bruno Fernandes, Mateus Cunha, the list goes on. And United, I think, won't be favored in this, which they'll be okay with because they've done that in the past where they've able to go to Man City and got a result. So it'll be a good one. The schedule doesn't get any easier for Man City because then they open up with Champions League play. And then they have Arsenal away, which the last time they played Arsenal away, they lost 5-1. So Man City could definitely see themselves out of the title race by Christmas, I think, if they don't get their act together.
Yeah,
you can hear the aggression in my voice because I'm not used to this, Sean. Come on.
That's the the different world that you're in where you're competing for titles and you got Pep and everything is great. And of course, Holland. And then you're over there at Manchester United where I'm at, where I didn't even know. I've never heard of the team they lost to and the
Grimsby.
Yeah. I've never even heard of them. I'm like, who the hell is this? And they lose that game. I'm watching it. But you're right. Last time out, they did look a little bit better. It's just so frustrating because it's a whole new deal and yet the same old song and dance. Like all new players, new coach, everything. It's a new season. And then to open up with a 1-0 loss to Arsenal and then the way that they played in that draw, and then of course losing in that what was it, the Caribou Cup? Is that how you say Caribou?
Yeah, Carabao Cup or EFL Cup, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Yeah, just more of the same. But that's all right. I'm still watching. I'm repping. I'm singing. I'm fighting, Larry. I believe in Manchester. No, I wouldn't go that far. But it's fun. Anyways, U.S. men's national team, though, all eyes on them. Larry Henry Jr. says, tonight, take the plus money with the red, white, and blue. We're winning.
If they win tonight, which I think they will, maybe you can keep that betting slip, Sean, for the World Cup. Maybe. Don't rip it up just yet. I know you threw it on the floor right before we started.
Yeah, the World Cup. We'll see. We're still hosting it, and I'm trying to get to a game. I will see if that's going to be possible. How many games are you going to make? What's your plan of attack for the World Cup next year, Larry?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping to be at all the Philly games. Talks are good right now with the Athletic to be part of that coverage again. So it'll be exciting to get down to all 6 matches, which I think the last match is 4th of July, which should be a pretty cool event with the, was it bicentennial for the country. So, it'll be exciting, and then hopefully get some national team coverage in as well. So, the schedule is nice and open for World Cup coverage, and excited that Philly could be a part of the hosting again. I just got the numbers from the Club World Cup too. It was like 2.9 billion people tuned into the Club World Cup.
Jeez.
Which I think that, Philly, I was at all the matches, all 8 matches in Philly. And I like I told you in the past, like the atmospheres were awesome. The crowds were good. I didn't see any fighting or anything like that.
You went to all 8 games down there. You dealt with the traffic in all 8 games.
Well, you have to remember too, when you get out of there and the mix zone and everything, a lot of the traffic's gone by that point.
Gotcha.
The 9 p.m. kickoffs, as much as people hated them, it was great. Driving home 1 a.m. on 95. That's the only time 95's empty.
God bless you. See, he's a big J. That's what he is, Sean Barnard. That's Larry Henry Jr., L. Henry 019. He also has a Substack covering the Philadelphia Eagles in the Bird's Nest. Larry is a diehard Philadelphia Eagle fan, and he covers the Birds. As I said, subscribe to that Substack. Your big takeaway from the Cowboys game, though, Larry, because obviously they won, but a lot of people were like, it's not enough. But my thought was, did you watch the league? Did you see how everybody else operated, putting the Buffalo Bills and the Ravens and the Packers to the side? Everybody had flaws. Everybody struggled at some time. A win is a win, and that was a pretty big win over the Cowboys as far as the division is concerned. Your big takeaway from the game was what, though?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't play their best game. Usually teams never do in week 1. Like you said, it's all about, the long haul of the season. They were very fortunate that CeeDee Lamb dropped a couple key passes, and Miles Sanders had that fumble down near the end zone. Maybe if that happens, we're talking a little bit differently. But overall, I thought they played a good game, not a great game. Losing Jalen Carter before the first defensive snap kind of hurts. Dak Prescott even said it kind of changed their whole blocking scheme for the Cowboys. And rightfully so. Jalen Carter's a beast and a game record on the D line. Jalen Hurts, I thought, played a good game. It was a little worrying that AJ Brown had to wait till the last offensive series to get a catch, to get a target. I think that changes this week against Kansas City. I think things will be kind of firing. The team will be up for that one for sure. Kansas City's in a little bit of a unknown position, sitting 0-1. But I think it's going to be a really good game. I like the Eagles to win on the road in Kansas City. I like them to cover. And overall, I think it's going to be, back to business this weekend. You're going to see a lot of guys catch the ball, a lot of hands on the ball, a lot of spreading it around for sure offensively. And defensively, we'll see what happens. I think overall, a lot of guys played well. They didn't sack Dak Prescott, but I think they have to get to Patrick Mahomes if they want to avoid any type of defeat on Sunday.
Yeah, if Jalen Carter plays, things will be definitely different. That's for sure. L. Henry 019 is where you can find Larry in the Bird's Nest. That's his Eagles coverage for the Substack. But my man knows the beautiful game of football, soccer. Great stuff across the board. I will definitely be paying attention to the U.S. men's national team. It will have a screen, and the Phillies and Mets will have a screen as well. Larry, you're the best. We'll catch up later. Always great to catch up with you, sir. Good luck on all those plays and great coverage as always. And we'll touch base next week, sir.
Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good rest of the day. And go Birds, go USMNT.
My man, there he is. Larry Henry Jr. All 8 games, Sean Barnard. You couldn't pay me to go to all 8 games and deal with that traffic and madness. I am so old these days, dude. I am such an old man that, like, going to that, it happened on Thursday. I was literally driving down and just like chills in my spine that I'm like, oh, I'm driving to this jungle parking lot, just madness. And you'd like helicopters above, people everywhere.
There are helicopters everywhere.
$60 to park. I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. What is going on right now? Get me out of here. But that's all right. We are in the middle of it all. And, then I get to the Green Legion tailgate and I'm like, oh, that's why I'm here, because it is phenomenal. It's a great experience. It's the best of the best, and you're right next to the stadium. But man, just getting there and getting out, it's brutal.
Yeah, I waited a nice hour, 20 minutes in line to get into.
Yeah, you were there. You were there. You texted me. I'm like, nah, dude, I was gone.
I know. I was hoping for the save. We were in line for quite a bit of time there, but we got in. We got in before kickoff.
Oh man, you waited in line for how long?
Over an hour 20, I'd probably guess. It was not my ideal way to spend my time, I will say.
Whose idea was it to do that?
Maggie, that was a fiance request. Was
to go to Stateside Live for the home opener?
Correct. Yes. So
now, did you meet people there?
Yeah, we 2 of our friends were there. So my buddy and his girlfriend as well.
So you got 1,000,001 bars. Oh, by the way, they were all packed.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys say, let's go to Stateside Live, knowing how chaotic it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, the chaos is part of the fun. Like,
okay,
I'll say that.
Yeah.
Like, it is. I will say, I do enjoy watching a game in there. Like when you get the sound and all that. I get it.
Yeah.
And if that's a request, that'll make her happy a little bit, I will take that one there.
All right. Yeah. And again, I'm coming off as an old man because I am old. When I was 20 plus, like a beef went to McGillen's the other day, and I go, dude, I haven't said let's go to the city in a decade. Like I used to do it all the time. You should be like, yo, let's go to the city. You want to go Fairmont? You want to do this? Let's go to like whatever. Sure. But not just no, it doesn't happen like that anymore. I guess kids and being married will do that to you.
By the way, you should have seen the mass confusion when Jalen Carter was ejected. Just a wave. What did he do? What just happened?
Well, it was everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
I was home on my couch going, he didn't just get thrown out. Did he? I left Stateside, was supposed to meet up with a buddy, and then all of a sudden he starts bailing on me due to like some work stuff, and I'm like, whatever. So I go to one. I'm by myself. I go to one bar, packed, not a seat, right? And I know it's like an hour. It's 45 minutes before kickoff. Like, okay, it's Thursday. It was raining, so I thought that would play into my favor.
Was not fun standing in line for that, by the way.
You stood in the rain?
Yeah, it wasn't awful. We dodged most of it, but it was spitting. Yeah, it wasn't great.
Anyways, and so I try one bar, and there wasn't a seat. And then I went to PJ's in Conchi, and literally same thing. Not a seat, I'm just like, I'm going home. So I went to Wawa, got a meatball hoagie, and I went home and watched the game. But, look, my daughter's going to bed. And as a parent, when you get that opportunity to get out of the house, like a lot like this weekend, we're at Penn State. Mm-hmm. I'm getting the opportunity to be out of the house. So I'm taking full advantage of that. I couldn't do it for the Eagles game. Sure. I had to go home because there was no place to go. Maybe I should have stayed at Stateside.
Yeah. And honestly, it wasn't like crazy in there. Like I expected it to be even a little bit more packed than ended up being the case. So overall, watching the game was fun.
I left because it started raining. Well, you saw it. And I'm like, whoa, Jeff Moore pulls up his Doppler and he's like, dude, I'm like, oh man, it's going to rain tonight. No way. And I'm like, I'm just getting out of here. But if it wasn't raining, it was sunny, I probably would have stayed there and watched.
Yeah. No, that's fair. So, yeah, 1-0 in the books. The Stateside trip was still worth it.
I watched the double doink at Stateside.
Did you?
One of my favorite Stateside Xfinity Live memories.
Wow. I watched the Jalen comeback against the Bills at Stateside, actually. I will not forget that one.
I think I was in the stadium for that.
Well,
yeah, I was there for that. All right, Daily Ticket rolling on here. 5 o'clock hour, a little late for a break, but that's all right because coming up, we're going to talk some college football. We got some bangers. Vandy, South Carolina, A&M, Notre Dame, Georgia, Tennessee. Oh, Temple, Oklahoma. Does that get y'all hot and bothered?
Al's got some juice right now.
Yeah, they do, and that's a big, big spread. Also, Penn State, watch out, taking on Villanova. Ooh, nobody's giving them a chance. What do you think that number is going to be, Sean?
42?
I'll take the over. It's the Daily Ticket. Hey, here's the bottom line. I know that Coach Ferrante is going to have that team believing. He's going to have that team ready to go on Saturday up there at Happy Valley. The coach's show is coming up at 6 o'clock right here on The Gambler. Coach Ferrante live from Chicken Pete's in Drexel Hill. We love it. Now, I got to say this much. We will be out there at Happy Valley starting on Friday. Sean Barnard's rolling me. Sam Ostrey's rolling me. Ryan Beefcoil's rolling me. The Gambler Gang is taking the show on the road. We'll talk more about that. We'll hit the college card on the other side. More after this.
And here we have a specimen from the early 2000s, a legacy investing platform. Please don't touch the exhibit, folks. It could crash.
Ready to step out of the financial history museum? At public.com, you can invest in almost everything. Stocks, bonds, options, and more. You can even put your cash to work at an industry-leading 4.1% APY. Leave your clunky, outdated platform behind. Go to public.com and fund your account in 5 minutes or less. Paid for by Public Investing Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Full disclosures at public.com/disclosures.
Good morning. Welcome to Today.
From back to school to tackling your to-do list, the Today Show is your best start to the day.
It's a new season, and every morning we're here to help you take it all on as the forecast calls for football all across the country.
Blockbuster stars, live concerts, and so much more. Wake up to where it's all happening.
We're getting back to all of it, and the best way to start is together.
Watch the Today Show, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. on NBC.
Your one stop for advertising? Call 844-844-IHEART.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya guselkumab may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
America's #1 app for radio is iHeart. Live radio, trusted DJs, breaking news, live play-by-play, plus the station you're listening to right now, anytime, anywhere. Join the millions who already have it. Open the free iHeart Radio app today. The #1 app for radio.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times. Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants? These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Hey, want to hear something great? Right now at Wendy's, you can get 2 of the #1 selling bacon cheeseburger in all fast food, the JBC, plus medium fries and a medium soft drink for just $8. Want to hear something else great? Double the burger means double the bacon. Now that's a game changer. 2 of the #1 bacon cheeseburgers with fries and a drink for just $8. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Request $8 JBC meal deal to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price.
Rapid radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies, offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off. Free UPS shipping and add code radio for an extra 5% off.
Cloudy and cool overnight, low temperatures in the upper 50s to low 60s. There could be a little
drizzle, if not a shower or two as we go deeper into the night after, say, the midnight hour. And then Wednesday's a cloudy, cool, and breezy day. High temperature only 70 degrees. We're going to see some spitting showers at times, nothing too heavy, but it could dampen the ground, whether it's in the morning or in the afternoon, not amounting to all that much. And then we're back in the bright on Thursday. I'm meteorologist Adam Joseph with your 6 ABC forecast.
This report is sponsored by the International Hot Rod Association.
The International Hot Rod Association and Durana Hybrid, where horsepower meets hard work, reigniting the spirit of racing and the power of skilled trades, mentorship, education, legacy. Fuels the future on the track and in the trades. Get your tickets now at ihra.com.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
Putting time on a Tuesday afternoon. We're busy on the Schuylkill westbound stop and go University all the way out to Belmont, then Gladwood to Conshohocken. Eastbound stop and go Blue Route to Belmont, then approaching Montgomery Drive to University. Blue Route southbound Jan St. David's immediate Swarthmore northbound backed up 95 to Route 1. 95 northbound heavy Barton to Broad, then stop and go Vine Expressway to Bridge. Southbound Jan Cotman to the Betsy Ross, and so Ridley Park to 320. Large Tutela total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
Homeowners, would you like to save on your monthly payments? Mortgage rates have been dropping. Visit rocketmortgage.com today to see what you could save. Call 800-863-4332 for cost information and conditions. Rocket Mortgage LLC, licensed in all 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
It's your Tuesday Sports Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Week 1 of the NFL in the books. Week 2 will kick off on Thursday night at Lambeau Field as the Green Bay Packers host the Washington Commanders. Both teams 1-0 to start the season. The Packers 3.5-point home favorites. Over-under total points for this one is 48 points. Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels will face a Packers defense led by Micah Parsons. Daniels over-under total passing yards, 226.5. On the other side, Packers running back Josh Jacobs, over-under rushing yards, 77.5. New to BetMGM, sign up today using the code MINUTE to receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for full terms. 21 plus to wager. New customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Promotions vary by market. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Looking for sun protection that actually works and feels great? Wear SPF by PGA Pro Justin Thomas has you covered, both on and off the course. Dermatologist tested and sweat resistant. It's broad spectrum SPF that won't mess up your swing or your skin. From the first tee to everyday life, Wear SPF is a high-performance skincare collection that helps you protect yourself like the pros. It's par for the course. Shop now at wearspf.com and stay sun safe all year long. That's wearspf.com.
It takes decades of hard work to buy a home, but the hard work doesn't stop there. At Rocket Mortgage, we believe your home is an active investment, not a passive one. So let's put it to work. When you unlock home equity, you unlock new doors for your family, renovations, extensions, even buying your next property. Get started today with smarter tools and guidance from real mortgage experts. Find out how at rocketmortgage.com. Rocket Mortgage LLC, licensed in 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmett Smith on behalf of Depend, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing catch. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable, and one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 25 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shields Guards Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000 or in Mississippi.
Summer's wrapping up, and life is picking back up. Early mornings, long days, and a to-do list that doesn't quit. And neither should you. Who has time to slow down due to body pain? That's why there's Aleve, to keep you going. With just one pill, Aleve delivers longer-lasting body pain relief per dose compared to other leading OTC branded pain relievers. Aleve helps keep you moving from sunup to sundown with up to 12 hours of pain relief per dose, so you can keep moving and be ready for whatever's next. Use as directed.
Number 1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. WDAS and WD273D Philadelphia is Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler.
Daily Take at 5 o'clock hour. Sean Barnard with you here. I feel like we should mix in like A6. Oh, I got one.
Hit me.
Who the hell wants Ben Simmons?
Oh, yeah.
With the Philadelphia 76ers organization, when there was a report, are you buying this at all, that when he was being bought out by the Nets, the Sixers showed interest? I'm not buying that either.
I don't. I know Jake Fishers, who reported it, who has some like heavy Philly ties.
That's
and is
fine.
Very in the know here. I just can't imagine that thought actually crossed the minds of Daryl Morey and the decision makers. Just think about like how things ended here in Philadelphia, aside from the fact that this dude is a fraction of the basketball player that he once was. Like, even Ben Simmons at his peak was a flawed basketball player, and he's not even remotely close to that. So, yeah, I do not need to hear those conversations whatsoever.
Yeah, I thought it was ridiculous when it did pop up my timeline. Then I did see, like you said, Jake Fisher. I'm like, all right, well, he normally has all those rumors and stuff, but
he is a Philly guy.
Yeah, I just not buying that either. And sometimes people get bad information. Sometimes sometimes things get, to whisper down the lane and they end up being a little bit bigger than what they were.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if it gets brought to Elton Brand and Elton Brand, who I worked out with this morning, 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning at EB in my at the gym. With
Probably
me.
puts up some weight, that dude.
Well, the thing that we do at Vision Fit,
it's
the hit. We keep it moving. But yeah, look, tell you what.
Dude's in shape still.
How old's Elton Brand?
What do we think? 45, maybe? No, that might be high. He might be younger.
46.
All right, pretty good.
Oh, I thought he was going to be a little older than that. My age. Damn it. 1979, 1981. All right, what are you going to do? Anyways, he's a great dude. Just to let everybody know. Well, we all know this. Daryl Morey makes the decision. However, if that paper gets slid to me like, hey, boss, what do you think about Ben Simmons potentially? This is the positives, bringing him back here. Like, even if it was just the base and none of the nonsense happened with him being drafted here and then quitting and all that. Like, even if it was just a brand new player, but it's Ben Simmons, like you said, he is nowhere near what they need. Like, he can't defend. His back acts up. He needs to hang it up. And I think he's going to.
Yeah, I do think. And it is funny to me, the man once hailed as the next LeBron James is on pace to retire before LeBron himself. And
take it easy, LeBron. We got this.
Yeah. Shout out, coward.
I got this.
And just to give you a couple of stats for who Ben Simmons is. So after he did land with the Clippers in the buyout situation, he played 18 games for the Clippers in 5 playoff games. In the regular season, he averaged 16.4 minutes per game, put up 2.9 points, 3.8 rebounds, and 3.1 assists. In the postseason, he played 8.4 minutes per game, averaged 0.8 points, 1.4 rebounds, and 0.8 rebounds. Since he first left the Sixers, out of a possible 329 games, he's played in 108 of those.
Woo! Yeah, he's done. Just he should go to China and play there.
But you got to care about basketball to do that. Like, there's no
You go play for 9 games. You get paid.
I think to do that, you have to have like a passion for the sport. And Ben has never had that.
Never?
I don't think ever. I definitely don't think ever. Because this was the book on him at LSU. This was the book at him coming out. Like, this is who Ben Simmons is. He's a guy who I think is one of the most naturally talented athletes ever who never had any bit of that desire. Like, this dude should be a Hall of Fame basketball player.
Should be.
He's not remotely close to that.
Being where he's drafted, what he's capable of, and that's putting the shooting stuff to the side. He didn't even need to shoot, but you're right. He's the ego. He loved that. That's what he loved. That's what drove him the most.
Yeah.
Is being a superstar, being talked about.
Right.
Being able to get with Tanashi, who's got a good
Kendall
song.
Jenner.
Kendall Jenner.
Yeah.
Who else? Who's the not Jennifer Hudson? Who's the girl that's with Klay Thompson now?
Megan Thee Stallion?
Yes, he was in her DMs. Yeah, all that stuff got
early to
leaked.
that game.
Yeah,
Shout out
man.
Ben.
Yeah, Ben probably did very well off the court, no doubt.
I'm
about
sure,
that.
but that's sort of
But
part of the
that's
whole
what he
problem.
wanted. Yeah,
like that's the whole conversation.
His jersey's up in those rafters. That's for damn sure. All right, let's keep it moving. I told you we'd slide a Sixers conversation in here, but I want to bring this up. First of all, stupid side topic, real fast. One of the scariest movies I've ever seen in my life was The Conjuring.
Okay.
Have you ever seen it, John?
I have. I'm not a scary movie
You're not
guy.
a scary movie guy.
I have seen The Conjuring.
What's when I ask you what's the scariest movie or a movie that scared the bejesus out of you, the most? What is the first one that comes to your mind?
Is the nun one. I forget the name of it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I forget the name of it. The one with the nun, the haunted, that one, those freak me out especially.
That's actually the name of it, isn't it? The nun?
Maybe.
Yeah, the nun.
Okay, I think that is it. That one freaked me out a little bit.
It's got some similar vibes to The Conjuring too, as well. But
they all kind of have the same playbook.
Right. Yes, they do.
Still gets me though.
I'm not a scary movie guy either, but The Conjuring
Mm-hmm.
was so scary. I will tell you, I think The Conjuring is the scariest movie I've ever seen. People could laugh at that, to each their own. Now, going back in the day, there was nothing more scarier than Poltergeist.
Sure.
They're here like that. Freddy Krueger before, like when I was a young buck, like those movies like had an effect on me, right? Like I didn't want to go to bed by myself. Like this is Mom, Dad, I got to sleep in your room, that sort of deal. But The Conjuring, the recent one, and forgive me, it was probably like 10 years ago when it came out. But that movie was literally the last one that I remember was just so damn scary. Now there's a new one, and I want to go see this in the movie theater. That's why I'm bringing this up right now. I want to go see this in the movie theater. And I know we got some folks in the Gambler gang that would probably go see a movie in theaters, whether it's Mark Henry Jr. I didn't know if you would join or not. Watch The Conjuring.
I could be talked into that. I do like going to the movie theaters and that like experience there, even if not being a scary movie guy. I will say I do think the movie takes come quite strong from this group chat as a whole.
Who do you think? Mark Henry Jr. brings the movie
Jansen
takes.
too. Jansen's like elitist movie
Oh
viewer.
yeah, absolutely. He talking like like the awards and stuff like.
Like I'll give an example. This is my opinion on movies here. Like Happy Gilmore 2. I loved that movie. That was everything I wanted to see in a movie. Like it was feel good. There was a storyline.
You loved Happy Gilmore 2?
I loved Happy Gilmore.
Haven't seen
2.
it yet.
I loved it. That to me is like what I want in a movie. I don't want to be breaking down the cinematology or whatever the word is, or like diving into like I just want to feel good, have a story, laugh a little bit. That's what I want in a movie. That's to me what a movie experience should be.
All right. Well, all I know is The Conjuring really was good and scary in every which way. And I need to watch that again, but I want to go see this new one that is out there as far as movie theaters.
I think I combined like 3 different words into cinematology there.
I like that. It was a nice pull by you. All right. Just to let you know, we do have some news out of the world of the Phillies. They're back at it this evening, taking on the Mets for Game 2. We'll talk a little bit about that game before we get out of here. But our own Luke Arcaney down there in the dugout talking to Rob Thompson, and he said, quote, Zach Wheeler was back at the ballpark yesterday. Rob Thompson said it was great to see their ace around the team, even though he won't pitch again this year. That's great. That's cool because you heard from players that said, man, Aaron Nola, like I'm used to seeing him at the front step when we're not pitching. We watch the games together. Maybe Wheeler could return to the dugout. You never know. I don't know how that works rules, but that's pretty cool.
I would imagine that's possible. And by the way, it's probably the best thing for Zach to be around the team again and, be in the mix. Like I know even speaking from like my experience as an athlete, the worst part about being hurt to me was just physically not being around in the same way or being in that routine in the same way. And athletes as a whole are so routine oriented that I do think like it's probably beneficial for him to be back in the mix. So that is great news that he's sort of responding to things and with the team again. We'll see how much that continues from here.
All right. And then once again, as I said, with the Phillies and Mets, Game 2 coming up here at Citizens Bank Park. The Phillies 7 games for the magic number to clinch a playoff spot, 11 to get the division. Ranger Day down at Citizens Bank Park. Oh, by the way, Hello Kitty giveaway day at the ball yard. I wanted to bring my daughter down. My daughter's 5. She's got kindergarten. Like, it starts at 6:45. I wanted to get the Hello Kitty, purse for her. It's just like, all right, I'm not going to stay for the full game. By the time driving home, she's sleeping. Like, I feel bad. Just 5. It's a little too young. But the Hello Kitty giveaway would have been like a hit. She would have loved me. She'd be like, Dad, you're the greatest thing ever. Oh, my goodness. And we would have caught a few innings, drove home, but she would have been sleeping. So I felt like, all right, probably got to be a responsible parent. It's a school night, as they say. Ranger -137. Hey, if you get a Hello Kitty bag, send it to me, please. Shum and I on the mound for the Mets, +113. Total coming in at 8 here. Ranger and the Phillies As I said, ready to clinch a division, clinch a playoff spot, but more, and we discussed this to start the show, Sean, just to get over that mental hurdle of actually beating the Mets, which, oh, by the way, could be a potential playoff matchup. It's a huge deal.
Yeah, and the bats did not look lively last night. It took a Aaron Nola gem for them to get that win there. I do have some concerns that Manaea can spin it as well on the mound, and the Phillies have had trouble with him before, that they really have not hit him well this year or really throughout his career there. So I'm not overly optimistic on the total, but I do think Rangers going to step up and be able to match that. If I'm looking at any sort of player prop direction, I do like Harrison Bader. I'd probably take the 2+ bases here. Got him in the leadoff spot, which I honestly think could be pretty effective role to use him in. I like that they're trying it out, and obviously you got a little wiggle room to play with it with Trey Turner on the injured list and figuring out the new lineup from here. So I think it's going to be a tough battle today. It wouldn't overly shock me if the Mets do find a way to come back and even up the series for this. I think this is a matchup that probably definitely means a little bit more to them, but nonetheless, when you got Ranger Suarez, you got a chance.
How about Schwarber hasn't hit a bomb in like 11 games, I think it's been.
Yeah, he looks a little frustrated too, I will say.
Kyle Fisher watching. Love it. Kyle's down there at the ball yard as well. Wheeler's allowed to be around. Cole Hamels told me that when Roy Halladay was out, he almost became more valuable to the team because he could help so many more guys with advice than he normally could. That's true.
Wow.
That's true. And it'd just be for morale to see Zach Wheeler, your ace out there. Yeah, I think that would probably be something that everybody would prefer. So I'm glad to hear that he's able to do so. And I would imagine that MLB would not rule that. Although, like sideline with NFL, you're not allowed to be on the sideline, right? All that, injured players, so who knows? But that's great to hear. All right, yeah, Schwarber hasn't hit a home run in forever. He's plus 240 tonight for one bop down at the ball yard. We'll talk a little bit more before we get out of here. Harrison Bader at the leading off spot, which is very intriguing to me. I'm a Bader guy, Sean Barnard. I don't know if you know that. Big time Bader guy.
Yeah.
But he needs to be a little bit more careful on the base path. That's all right, though. Let's keep it moving. Let's get on over to the world of college football, where we do watch the games, and we're not AP voters. But here's the deal. We've been paying attention. And we got some good games, really good games this week, and some games that are under the radar, but are going to deliver in a big way. And for me, I look at that Vandy, South Carolina game. That game could potentially be one of, if not the best game this weekend. I really do believe it. DraftKings currently showing South Carolina 5.5-point favorites. Both teams undefeated 2-0 on the season. South Carolina with an impressive victory against Virginia Tech to start. Vandy with even more of an impressive victory on the road at Virginia Tech last weekend. Now, 5.5 is 5.5. Could Diego Pavia go on the road and beat South Carolina? I think they could, and that's where it starts and ends for me. If I think a team can go and win as an underdog, I got to take them on the points here at plus 5.5. Anything for you in this game?
Yeah, I like him on the money line, Sean.
Hey, now.
I am a Diego Pavia guy. That is certainly one of my quarterbacks at the collegiate level, and I was really impressed with the performance against Virginia Tech. 44-20, the final score, and I thought they looked pretty dominant on both sides of the football there. Drones, they really kept in check from a quarterback perspective there. They're obviously going up a tier in talent with South Carolina, who comes in ranked 11th in that very same AP poll here. But I do think that there's some magic that Diego Pavia possesses, and I think the Vanderbilt squad as a whole is deeper and more talented than they've really been given credit. It felt like last year it was just highlighting the impact and presence of Pavia. He's got a squad right there next to him, and I do think they can get the job done.
That's interesting. Yeah, South Carolina looked really ferocious on defense. Sellers is a badass. Sellers is probably the best player on the field.
Yeah, still, but
but I think Vandy, you're going to give me 5.5. I wonder why it's that many. Will that number come down potentially come kickoff? I could see money coming in on Vandy, but that is that's going to be a great game. Can't wait to sink in and watch that one on Saturday night.
Can I ask, has Sellers, I don't want to say, it's too early to say anything. I would say he's been slightly underwhelming to me to this point. Only 2 games in. But.
Yeah. Like I said, the game against Va Tech, I think he had his moments where he proved his worth. I want to look up his numbers right now.
So last week he had completed 11 of 19 for 126 yards and a touchdown, added 23 yards with his legs.
He was 12 of 19 in that game. So wasn't his best performance.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen it yet.
He's definitely not a Heisman Trophy winner with those type of numbers. That's for sure. All right, next game up I want to get to is the Notre Dame game against A&M. This one's at 7:30. The Irish are home, 7-point favorites, 49.5. The big thing for me is the layoff, right? Like A&M has played 2 games. They played Utah State and UTSA. They've thrown up 40-plus points in both of them. Notre Dame gets it going. They take on Miami on that Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, of Labor Day weekend. And then what? They get 13, 14 days off. And now they have to ramp it back up to take on a tough Texas A&M squad. This is another monster spread. This is a 7-point spread. The Irish are favored by 49.5. I kind of lean the A&M covering a number, and I think they could go in there and win outright.
Yeah, I was surprised the number's at 7, to be honest. I would have guessed this is more of like the 4-point type of spread kind of ball game here. For that reason, I'm riding with Texas A&M on the points. I think that Notre Dame will still find a way to get the job done, but I really like how Marcel Reed has looked this year at quarterback for A&M. He's obviously got the dual threat, and I think he's looks more polished as a passer, at least at the start of this year. The 7 is just too many for me. I think this is going to be less than a 1-touchdown game. Give me the A&M on the points.
So many good games. We got the Miami, Florida, and South Florida game going on. That look, Florida State and Miami have finally, bounced back, and it's like great to have them, at the top of a college football conversation topic, at least, right? And this is a big one from South Florida. We talked a ton about already today. They're 17.5-point dogs. They have 2 pretty impressive victories so far, including going on the road and beating Florida in the Swamp. And here they are catching 17.5, 4:30 kick on Saturday, game being played at the U. I don't know if South Florida can win this game, but 17.5 is very nice.
Disrespectful, even, I might say, to be thrown it by that margin. I get Miami's up a tier from both Boise State and Florida, and I will note, I'm kind of skeptical of Florida all across the board.
Sure.
That I don't think DJ Lagway is that good. I do think Billy Napier has some issues here. I think that we got to put some stock on what South Florida is actually doing here. Byron Brown, he's a guy for their quarterback spot. And
Dude, he's a beast.
Yeah, he's a stud. Give me the 17.5. I'm not saying I think they're going to win this game. I think they're going to have a chance to. I think this is going to be another down to the wire matchup. And I think that we should be talking about South Florida as probably not a playoff team, but should kind of be in that conversation. Find me a resume better in college football than what they have right now.
It'd be a good question for Julian Edlow on Thursday as far as the splits are concerned, because I just imagine that all of America will be riding with South Florida in this one. It's an easy bet to make, right?
Yeah, and I will say there's been some pretty monstrous odds movement for them already. They went from, I believe they opened at plus 2,800 to make the college football playoffs. They're down to plus 450 for odds for that right now, and a ton of other movement like that.
Yeah, and I think from the game perspective, I thought it was high as 28, and now it's 17.5. What time is that game? 4:30, I said? So Vegas Insider has the opening number here. Let's see. No. Oh, no, I was wrong. 18.5. I thought I heard 20 something.
You want a little surprise here? So dove into the DraftKings stuff here. 71% of the USF, 71% of the money is on USF spread right now. 84% of the money line on Miami.
Doesn't surprise me. Doesn't shock me when it comes to that. But yeah, I would imagine with the ATS, a lot of people are going to be taking those points. And like we said, rightfully so. They've looked pretty good so far in their 2 games. All right, other games that have at least some substance behind it. And we got to go to the SEC. Now, Georgia and Tennessee get going at 3:30 on Saturday. Georgia, 3.5-point road favorites. I thought Tennessee really impressed me in that game against Syracuse. They were slinging it. I didn't watch a damn play against Eastern Tennessee State where they threw up 72 points. But the kid Aguilar, the transfer, he was, I think, App, and he went to UCLA for a cup of coffee. Yeah. He was really, really spending it in that game against Syracuse, taking some shots downfield. They have some playmakers that I think can score some points. 3.5, though, is 3.5. That's a small number, but they are home. I'm kind of in the coin flip spot for this one. I don't know which way I would go. You got to play in this one?
Yeah, that's mostly how I feel as well. These are 2 teams that I'm not particularly bullish on either way. I probably would take the points for that reason with a 3.5 here. I do like how Aguilar's looked a little bit. Georgia, I have my doubts that I don't think that they've been overly impressive at this point either. I probably lean towards the plus 3.5 just because I think it's going to be a down to the wire game, and getting the home team is always a positive with that. Great atmosphere down in Tennessee. But yeah, I don't particularly like either of these teams from like a season long standpoint.
How about Clemson and Georgia Tech? This is a weekend we're going to learn a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty easy to sit there and say that early in the year, no doubt. But some of the matchups in these first 2 weeks, FBS, FCS, whatever it is, lower tier, ultimately, there's been a lot of cupcakes scheduled, and that's fine. But now for this week 3 that we have with Clemson and Georgia Tech, as I just pointed out, we got Wisconsin, Alabama, Oklahoma. Yeah, I said Oklahoma and Temple almost. The games that we have already mentioned, there is a lot to be learned as far as in these games, man. And Clemson and Georgia Tech, look, Clemson, very flawed.
Yep.
Georgia Tech has a heck of a run game, and I think this has been a number that's been on the move. Georgia Tech catching 3.5 at home. They can absolutely win that game. Clemson had to really pull it from the depths to beat Troy last week. And Georgia Tech has looked impressive so far. I think Clemson is the better team, but Georgia Tech has a lot of momentum in their favor. And as I said, they're at home. It's really tough to pick against Georgia Tech here, but 3.5 is a slim margin.
Yeah, and you can keep the points because I want Georgia Tech on the money line here. I'm riding with Haynes King. I think that this Georgia Tech team can run against anybody, and certainly against this Clemson front line here. That they look concerning to me. I don't think Cade Klubnik is that guy. I do believe in Georgia Tech, the run game being kind of the takeaway for this game. I think they're going to jam it right down their throats and have some success in doing so. Give me the plus 142 odds.
Florida and LSU, that's a good matchup too. 7:30 p.m. LSU at home, 7.5-point favorites, 48.5. Florida has to find a way to win a game. I don't think they do it here, but can they keep it close? Probably going to take LSU, given the 7.5, and think they're going to win by double digits.
Yeah, me as well. I like the minus 7.5. I've really liked what I've seen from Nussmeier this year. His read of the game and kind of picking apart defense is super, super advanced for the collegiate level. You can tell he's like the son of a head coach in the way that he is. And I think he's putting his name in the ring to be a top NFL pick. So I've been really impressed with what he's done. And again, I'm skeptical of Florida. I don't think that DJ Lagway is that dude. I don't think that roster is good enough to make up for that. And I think LSU is going to be hungry to get back on the horse and produce like a dominant victory.
I'm trying to see who UCLA is playing so I can bet against them.
Yeah.
That is a bad squad. Terrible team. Absolutely terrible team. Who do they have?
New Mexico, who aren't bad, the Lobos. 15.5 spread. 15.5-point spread, plus 470 on the money line for the Lobos.
New Mexico's catching 15.5?
Correct.
Oh, we're taking that. Bet against UCLA weekend.
Friday night game.
Oh, nice. We're going to be out at Penn State.
Yeah, that might be a bar on at Penn State kind of game. I can get behind a hate watch of Nico.
That's 10 p.m. kickoff. That means we're not going to bed till about 1:30 on that one. Good grief. But that was probably going to be the case anyways. All right. Speaking of Penn State, they're hosting Villanova. No number, no odds just yet. But head coach Mark Ferrante, his show's coming up on the other side here at 6 p.m. live from Chickies and Pete's in Drexel Hill. Steve Pannone and head coach Mark Ferrante are going to have some fun recapping what just took place on Saturday against Colgate. Villanova 1-0 on the season in a big-time matchup against Penn State. A lot of hype, a lot of buzz, and we're really excited to be there. Of course, teaming up with our friends over at Playfly Sports. Can't thank those guys and girls enough for allowing us to do this. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're taking the Gambler gang on the road. It was supposed to be an RV trip. iHeartRadio, powers that be, said, yeah, I don't know if we should do the RV, which I still don't understand, but I just said, whatever. Like, I go, you get us hotel rooms, we're good. They made that happen. Okay. I think, and probably in the grand scheme of things, hotel rooms over an RV is probably better, but it would have been fun.
It would have been
The
fun.
RV would have been definitely dumb. It would have been a lot of fun.
Would you have been driving, by the way?
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
I couldn't wait. I've driven an RV 2 times now. I rented to this would have been a 3rd time.
All right, a little bit of experience.
Yeah.
You do not want me whipping that thing around.
Oh,
Let's do
man,
that.
you get in the key is you get in the right lane and just cruise.
It's the turning part that's my worry.
It's
Yeah.
all right. You pick it up. That's not the type of vehicle that you're changing lanes and moving
Sure.
fast. You get there. So it's one road, 3 hours away and back. And that was it. And then they were like, what if something? I'm like, whatever, just get us hotel rooms in. So that's what we're doing. We're getting out there Friday, broadcasting live, Daily Ticket, Gambler Gang, all out there representing in a big way, 3 to 6. And then on Saturday, we'll be live outside the Bryce Jordan Center from 12:30 to, I think, 2:30 we're going to go to, or 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Kickoff for Villanova and Penn State will be at 3:30, pregame coverage kicking off right here on The Gambler at 3 p.m. Don't touch that dial. A couple things to do before we get out of here. On the other side, we'll take a deeper dive into the Phillies and Mets game too. See if we can set up a same game parlay via DraftKings Sportsbook and cash in. Don't go anywhere. More after this.
Our 2025 iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One.
September 19th and 20th at T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas. Streaming live only on Hulu.
Limited tickets still available at AXS.com.
Get yours while you still can.
Lenovo and the iHeartRadio Music Festival. Tech that hits different. Can your gear keep up with the beat? Lenovo PCs are built for creators, dreamers, and fans who don't hit pause. Visit Lenovo.com for the latest in AI PCs and game-changing tech.
Fox Sports Radio, The Gambler. Now, total traffic for Philadelphia.
95 getting busy with Phillies volume, northbound heavy from the state line to Commodore Barry, then jam from the airport to Broad Street. Further north, backed up Walt Whitman to Penn's Landing and Vine Expressway up to Bridge. Southbound Jan Cottman to the Betsy Ross. Delays on the Schuylkill eastbound Blue Route to Belmont and Boulevard to South. Westbound Jan University out to the Boulevard, and Boulevard northbound backed up Schuylkill to Broad. A Blue Route southbound stop and go St. David's immediate Swarthmore. Lara Totella, total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Good morning. Welcome to Today.
From back to school to tackling your to-do list, the Today Show is your best start to the day.
It's a new season, and every morning we're here to help you take it all on as the forecast calls for football all across the country.
Blockbuster stars, live concerts, and so much more. Wake up to where it's all happening.
We're getting back to all of it, and the best way to start is together.
Watch the Today Show, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. on NBC.
Stay tuned to Fox PHL The Gambler for the latest CEOs you should know.
It's Tony O'Donovan, President and CEO of Arkema Inc.
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Oh no, not again, Moose. That's my 3rd premium ball in the water today.
So just grab another one, Harry.
Yeah, easy for you to say. These balls are expensive.
Not mine. I get all my balls from buymyballs.com. That's balls with a Z. Top quality, recycled premium brands for a fraction of the price.
Wait a second, Moose. So you're playing premium balls and not freaking out when you lose one?
Yeah, you got it. Hurry up. You're holding everybody up.
Ha. Yep. I'm ordering from buymyballs.com right now. Buy premium golf balls without the premium price. buymyballs.com.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems like snoring, aches and pains, hot sleep, or even an old saggy mattress that can keep you up at night. And our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now get a king bed for a queen price, plus a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911? No. called Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com.
Hey, this is Matt Jones. I'm Drew Franklin, and this is NFL Cover Zero. We're just here to try to give you an NFL perspective a little bit different.
Did you see the Colts pretzel? That was my other big takeaway from that game.
What was that? Oh, my. We think NFL coverage should be informative and entertaining. And twice a week, that is exactly what you're going to get. Open up your free iHeartRadio app, search NFL Cover Zero with Matt Jones and Drew Franklin, and listen now.
Daily Ticket with you here, coming down the home stretch. It's been a fun one, Sean Barnard, on a Tuesday. That's how we're going to do it here. No idea why I'm playing going a distance. I'm doing three things behind the scenes here.
Getting fired up.
I'm excited. Penn State, Villanova. You know, it kind of has that vibe, right?
What if Nova wins?
Just saying.
Why not? They play the games on the field for a reason.
That's exactly right. Should be a good one. Look, you know, it's a tough battle, right? We know how good Penn State is. Oh, by the way, Penn State already 2 games under their belt, right? Villanova finally taking the field last Saturday. So it's a little tough, a tougher spot. Let's just put it that way. But like you said, you get out there, man, the juices will be flying, be packed up. And if you can't get up to play up there at Happy Valley, then you don't have a pulse. I would imagine it's got to be really exciting to be a player and suit up in that game. Probably the biggest spot for some of those players. But as they often do, Villanova with head coach Mark Ferrante, they make the playoffs, Sean Barnard. They make a run, and those games bring on a different type of buzz as well. When you get to the playoffs, it's really cool. The atmosphere is electric, and as you continue to win, it only get bigger and better. So we'll see what happens this year, but 1-0 on the year. Impressive victory against Colgate. Tough opponent last Saturday up there on the main line, and it was a bend but don't break type of Colgate performance, but Villanova was able to get the job done, and a lot to build on. Let's put it that way. After one game in the books, it's tough to say that, and then you got to go to Happy Valley to take on Penn State, but that's what the schedule says. So I'm sure that Coach Ferrante and his crew are ready to go. I also want to point out Matt Caesar, Villanova legend, did a great job with Ryan Fannin on the broadcast on Saturday. It was great to have Matt Caesar, who is, like I said, just a true legend. Do you know about Matt Caesar?
I do not.
Okay, that's fine. He, first of all, won a national championship with Villanova. He was the playmaker. If I'm not mistaken, he even did special teams. He was that type of player. Just get the rock to him and get out of the way. But then he was so skilled. He had a professional baseball career, played with the Cubs, made the majors.
Wow.
Played baseball for Villanova too, I believe. But then if you look up what he did off the field, man, like he donated bone marrow.
Wow.
Just a gem of a human being, and really cool to have him, of course, on the airwaves here. And shout out to the folks over there. I'm sure Coach Ferrante made a call on that one to get Matt involved, but it was really cool to have him in the booth with Ryan. And as I said, Villanova winning that game. So Coach Ferrante's show coming up next here on The Gambler. Always great to hear from Coach Ferrante, especially with the big week in front of them. All right, putting a bow on this bad boy here. Sean Barnard's going to be with me on Tuesdays moving forward. Let's talk about the Phillies real quick, Sean, because this is a big series for the Mets and for the Phillies with a magic number of 7-11 for the division. Fire up DraftKings Sportsbook. Take a look at some of the numbers this evening. As I said, it's a Ranger day down at Citizens Bank Park. He's coming in at minus 137. Shamanaya on the bump for the Mets at plus 113. 8 your total. This is a monster game for the Mets. They have to continue to find ways to win games as they are in the third and final wild card spot currently. 3.5 games up above the Giants. There are 3 other teams that are right behind the Giants. So one little slip up by the Mets, and I'm looking at the Phillies right now in this series with 3 more games, especially after taking game 1. Mets could be out of a wild card spot here on the outside looking in. So if Rangers on his, on the money as he's been for a few outings in these last few starts for him, I could see the Phillies getting the job done, and minus 137 is a good wager in my book.
Yeah, I do like it. And I'll throw a little three-legger at you here, Sean
Hello.
Bryce. Yes, plus 750
Love a big
odds.
three-legger.
That's right. We got 6 strikeouts for Ranger Suarez, 2 bases for Harrison Bader, and 2 bases for Nick Castellanos. That's what I'm rocking with, plus 750 for that 3-leg parlay.
Interesting.
Odds via DraftKings Sportsbook.
Excellent. All right. A lot of fun today. We touched on a ton. We talked horror movies. We talked AP voting. Yes. Did you learn anything today? I learned how many people vote in the AP poll, 62. Yeah. We also talked fantasy. We hit on week 2 spreads. We talked college football, soccer, U.S. men's national team. And now on the other side, you're going to hear from head coach Mark Ferranti with Villanova football. A lot of fun, Sean. Can't thank you enough for riding with us. Shout out to Larry Henry Jr. Back at it tomorrow. Mark Henry Jr. will be on the program. And then Thursday, Sam Ostry will be joining me in studio. Friday, once again, we're taking the show on the road to Happy Valley. Make sure you stream us on the iHeartRadio app. And while you're there, make us a preset. Make the Gambler a preset. All right. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Good luck on all those plays. Go Phils. Head coach Mark Ferrante's show coming up next right here. Don't touch that dial. More after this.
We don't just watch college football. We live it. How did he